let's try this one more time. Yo, this is the Brown Experience, and today we're going to be talking about my religion versus your religion. So, to all the people that were on here right now, hey, dispensa, because I don't know, my phone's. Alright. But thank you guys already for joining back in. I'm about to get this started. Alright, wait a little bit for everyone to join in. Thank you guys for coming back in. Technical difficulties, but hey, let's handle this, man. Anyway, so hey, welcome to the Brown Experience, everyone. I go by Brown96. Today we're gonna be discussing. Thank you guys for coming back in. Appreciate it. That's what I did, bro. That's what I did. I restarted my phone. This is acting weird, bro. It was just kicking me out. It was just freezing and kicking me out. That's weird. But anyway, hey guys, welcome back to the Brown Experience. And like I said, I go by Brown96, and today we're gonna be talking about my religion versus your religion, or lack of religion, right? So let's get this started. I'm about to go and send some requests to people once again. But yeah, how's everyone's Thursday so far? About to get this started. And once again, if I send you a request, disregard that if you're already on the live. But I had to restart the phone and all that because it was acting weird. But how's my level and my volume? Is it good? Too loud? Just right? I got this new soundboard that I'm trying to figure out. That's probably why it was having my phone act weird, because this is my first time actually trying it on the live. But anyway, yeah, so I'm trying to just send requests, people to join in so we can have a good talk about this. Alright, give me just one more minute. Here we go. Alright, what's up? The noise in the background, I think it's probably my heater. Hold on. A little better? Alright. What's up, Beto? How you doing, man? Alright, about to get this started. So I got a request. What's up, Sweet Lou? We gotta get at least a couple people on here so we can talk about it. But I got the homie Beto. Alright. Oh, what's up, Lou?
What's up, bro?
Hey, can you hear me clear?
Yeah, I
Nah.
can.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm trying to this new equipment and it's just, dang, it's bugging, man. Yeah, man. So I'm trying to wait to see if the homie will join in here. Send a request to Revolution Untelevised. I've been chopping it up with homie and trying to have people involved in the conversations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that noise was in my heater, bro. It's fucking cold over here, man. I have a little back, you know what I mean?
Right.
Little fucking studio thing in the back of my pad. This is where I do my thing, but it's like it's fucking cold.
You got
But
a dope setup.
I appreciate it, man.
Mm.
Hey, what's up, Bebecito? What's up, man? So today, oh, okay. So he declined it. Let me see. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to get at least two people on. Brownie, I sent you a request, bro. Beto, what's up, man? I sent you a request if you want to join the conversation, man. But
Babysito is hella smart, huh?
fuck yeah, dude. He gets down, man. He's down. All right, well, let's get this started right now, bro. So my religion is better than your religion, or lack of. That type of mentality, that type of going back and forth and analyzing the situation, right? So first of all, tell the people, for people that are just listening on the audio platforms, who you are and a little brief background of your family's religious beliefs.
I go by Lou. I come from a background of traditionally Latino Catholics. My mom became a minister in her 20s. My father was gang affiliated. So I kind of grew up with, two extremes. And I had a lot of, people pushing agendas of what they thought that I should believe. But, you know, when we're on that path of self-discovery, you know, the truth reveals itself to you inevitably. Um, so that's how I grew up. You know, like most Latinos, we all come from mostly a Catholic background. Um, but my mom became a reverend through a non-denominational with outreach to gang affiliate youth when I was like real little. So that's how I grew up.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Now, why do you think people are so hung up on calling it out? Calling it out like, you know what, my religion is a true religion. What's up, man? What's up?
Hey, what's
Like,
up, everyone?
why do why do you think people are just so hung up on this? You know, my religion is better than your type shit.
Well,
Like,
I think everyone wants to find truth, right? I think faith fundamentally is a case about what we find true, right? Most religions, they stem from explanations of natural phenomenons like where does thunder come from, the thunder god, or where does the soil come from, the earth god, right? And just because it's considered a myth doesn't mean that's not true. What a myth is by definition is how a culture, you know, defines a natural phenomenon through like a supernatural power, right? Almost all cultures have done this for hundreds of thousands of years, right? And people have gone to war for it for thousands of years, and it's a pursuit of truth, right? But if something's really true, truth should be self-evident. You know, you shouldn't have to force it, and you shouldn't have to necessarily hammer it in someone's head. Truth is inevitable. You know, truth reveals itself to you whether you like it or not. Like, the truth is we're all gonna get old and die. I mean, there's nothing you can do to escape that. The truth is you're gonna have to pay taxes, right? You can't escape that. So these are the facts of life, right? And if we try to explain ourselves out of them, you know, natural phenomenon happens. But if we try to impose ourselves through our religious beliefs, you know, that's like a step back. That's a primitive way of thinking. If faith is fundamentally true, then faith reveals itself to be true, not the other way around.
I get that.
Mm.
Real, like, that's true though. You know what I mean? Like, when something is real, when something is like really meant to be, it will come around, right? That's what they say.
Right.
What's up, Brownie? ¿Cómo estás, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So what's your 2 cents on this, bro? First of all, para la gente que listening to it on the audio platforms, I'll let you know who you are and a little brief on your family's background, religious beliefs.
Yeah, okay. My name is Danny Lopez. I'm from the Bay Area. When I was little, I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. I'm not gonna say it was tough, but the way I was raised, like from my mom and dad, they were really faithful to their beliefs. You know what I mean? And I grew up that way maybe until I was like, I want to say like 14, 15 years old. There was a time when when I talked to my dad, I was like, "Sabes qué, bro?" Because that's how I used to talk to my dad. We used to have that, esa confianza. They call each other bros, you know. And I was like, you know what, Dad? I'm not feeling it anymore. I really don't want part of it. So that kind of hit my mom and dad. And what really happened was that after that, they become a little bit more, how to say it, more strict with me. And the more, the more they were coming strict with me, I was like becoming more of a rebel. So that's where everything started, you know. So now it was like we were fighting over stuff. You know, you gotta come with me. If you don't, you're gonna get grounded. I was like, hey, go for it. You know, ground me all you want, but I'm not going. You know, like that. It wasn't because like going with them to the conventions and meetings and everything like that. No, it's just that it wasn't in me. You know, it's just that um, I wasn't practicing like the way they did. Now, talking with my mom and dad, they did practice their religion the right way. They did keep their faith. They were the kind of people that never bug others just to join them. You know, they were the type of people that they 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 went by the rules. You know, so I gave them respect for that. You know, everywhere they go, they were always talking about it. And with the family, now we're talking about the whole family. There was in the family, there's Christians and Catholics, and my parents, they were Jehovah's Witness and everything. I never saw them argue with none of them. My mom and dad, I never saw them argument. They were just listening whatever they said. Maybe they're not agreed, with some of the things. Even though when the family were telling that, oh yeah, you guys don't celebrate this, you guys don't celebrate that, so they were telling them the reasons why. But the other people, the other members of the family, they never get it, which was fine. The thing is, they never argued. They were always respectful. They were always humble, happy people, and faithful to their beliefs. That's all I can say about that. In my opinion, I think, like the brother said, we gotta go back in time and see, where religion started it. Because if you think about it, everybody says this is the right religion, this is not. So which one is the right religion? In my opinion, it's not about religion, it's about connection. You can pray from your room, you can pray from your car, you can pray whatever, just to connect, you with a higher power, with God. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't get it because they're so stuck in their beliefs. Since they were little, they were telling them, you gotta do this, you gotta dress a certain way, you gotta pray over here, you don't have to go to this church, you have to go to this other church. Also, that's dividing. That's not connecting. When you connect, with God, by prayer, you feel it in your heart. You feel it, you feel that peace inside. So that's why I'm telling you, I believe in connection. I think, in the Latino culture, religion is a big part of it because it's a big part of division. That's what I'm trying to say. If you look at it, if certain people don't go to church, but they go to a different church, they kind of look at each other like, what the hell is doing? What the hell are they doing over there? Why they're walking over here for? Let me give you an experience that I had one time. They were selling pupusas outside our church one time, and I just walked by because I was about to take the bus. Pero tenía hambre, and I was like, hey, can I get a pupusa? And they were like, are you a brother or a sister? I was like, no, I'm just hungry. Basically, they were kind of telling me this is just for our people, Okay, I get it. With much, respectfully, I was like, okay, cool, thank you for letting me know. Next time I'll see you guys, I won't bother. Pero muchas gracias, Yeah, I kind of felt like rejected at the time, but then again, I was thinking to myself, and this is all because of religion. If I would be, like a member of the same church or a different church, probably, they would have been pretty, I don't know. But Then
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
religion, yes, divide people, but people don't know why they get people don't know why they get divided for, you know.
yeah, 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 yeah. What's
And
up,
yes,
Royal? ¿Cómo
it's a
estás, carnal?
purpose.
Yo, what up, homie?
Hey, go ahead and tell the people that are listening just on the audio platform, bro, who you are and a little brief of your family's religious beliefs, bro. So,
Simone. I'm from Fresno, Cali, and I grew up Catholic. I did my first communion. I don't go to church regularly, but I do go.
right? Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like, we're hearing basically that like Latinos or like Mexican American, we're mainly Catholic. That's how we were raised, right? Because of history, you know what I mean, or how we were conquered or whatnot, our land. Um, but now, how about this question right here, Carnales? Is religion necessary? And
I
I'll
would
give it
say,
to the homie Royal. Go ahead, bro.
yeah, I would say a definite yes. Yes, I would say definite yes. Absolutely. Because that's
Okay.
like, and anything, if you believe in anything, you know what I'm saying, that it leads back to. See, that just my mind is running deep right now. It's because I'm about to get into something. But that's what we're here for, right? We're here to discuss the topic and everything like that. Hey, but what's up to the other homies? I didn't even say what's up to y'all when I tapped in because you were talking, so I didn't want to interrupt you. But it's yeah, man, it's pretty deep for sure. That topic, just thinking about it, because yeah, like it's like if religion isn't necessary, then what is? Like I couldn't tell you how many stories that I've heard where that person says that God spoke to him and it saved them, and I've seen it. I've seen motherfuckers look like me and turn around. Excuse my language, but I'm just saying that's the hood of me talking right there. But it's
Good, carnal.
I've seen people like myself who turned around and that's all they do is go to church and they completely change their ways for the better. So it's pretty amazing, man. I see stuff like that. It does make me a believer, but not just that. It's a lot of the stuff I've experienced personally in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's I believe in religion, absolutely. So the answer is a definite yes.
All right, Lou. What do you think about this, man? Is it necessary for humanity?
Yeah, I would say, if we look at the statistics right now, we have more people than ever saying that they believe in some sort of supernatural power than like any past generation. Like Gen Z right now, they do, whereas millennials did not, right? And the reason for that is they can see, there's some sort of spiritual significance and something moving in the air right now that we can't necessarily explain by a natural phenomenon, right? I believe science and faith are answers to two different sets of questions. Science explains how something happens. Faith explains as to why. And if depending if hypothetically God reveals Himself to you, you'll find out as to why, right? And I had an agnostic phase of my life for quite a long time. Um, I purposely try to find little holes in my faith, um, because everyone reaches a point where they got to question their own belief system. It's a part of growth. If you don't do that, you're not really growing, right? So I look for little holes in my faith, and inconsistencies, and things that really didn't connect well to me, and it kind of gave me a leeway to walk away for a little bit. Admittedly, right? There are instances, in which I believe God calls you and not the other way around, you know, um, because even though I walked away from God, God didn't walk away from me. I almost had no choice, you know. Um, when I would get to a point where I was living on a prayer, or I needed, food in my stomach. I got a story for you. I was 7 years old, right? My mom wrote down on a tablet everything she was asking God for. We lived in government housing. We lived on food stamps. We go to the food pantry. We were dirt ass poor, right? My mom was taking care of 4 kids by herself. She had nothing but like noodles in the cabinet and olive oil to feed us. And we were malnourished, right? She wrote down on a tablet, she said, I'm living by faith. And she's like, I know God will, make my request met, right? A woman shows up at her door. She goes, I don't know you. I've never met you. I'm crying right now because God told me I'm supposed to bring these groceries to you and your kids, and that you had nothing. Never met this woman, never contacted this woman. I never seen this person in my life. It happened within like the span of like 10, 15 minutes. And my mom just praying. And I remembered that when I was in a situation in which, I needed God to reveal himself to me, right? I said, if you're real, right? If you're really out there, I said, I need this request met. I need X amount of dollars. I need a car. I need a place to stay. I need this. I need that. In the span of a week, things just kept happening to me. People would call me, hey, we want to offer you a deal to school. Hey, you have a workman's comp case. You're getting this amount of money being met for you, exactly the amount of money I needed to pay off my debts, and and then some. Or I don't know why, but I want to hire you for this concert or this photography job. Or I'm meeting people that I looked up to in the industry on like in the matter of like a week. You know what I mean? After I sincerely put my heart into it. And to me, in sciences, you test a hypothesis, right? And if that hypothesis gets put to a test and something happens, you have to take the facts for what they are. And for me, the evidence was overwhelming in my personal experience to who God was. You know what I mean? It's not consequential or coincidental. It was intentional, right? There is something in the stratosphere that we can't necessarily explain, but it's out there. I think it's absolutely necessary.
Man, Brownie, what do you think, bro? Is it necessary, bro? I mean, they say a lot of things of why it why things happen can be proven scientifically. I mean, scientifically, or just like Lou said, you know what I mean? But I mean, I guess it depends on the person. But I mean, what's your thoughts, bro?
It is. It is necessary. It is necessary to have that connection with God. Of course, it is. One, two, to have that faith, to practice your faith the right way. It don't matter what kind of belief you're from, Christian, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, whatever. But if you practice it the right way, if you follow what they said, and you keep it humble, that is a big yes right there. A lot of people be saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a Christian, or I'm a Catholic, or I'm a this." Next thing you know, people are drinking, partying, like doing all this stuff. I'm not saying, that's wrong or not, but if you're going to practice a faith, practice it the right way, Of course, it is necessary, Yes, it is. Like the brother says, I also walk away from God, And there was, years later in life, I found myself lonely, nothing to eat, nothing, just like he said, And I remember talking to my mom one day, and I was like, ¿sabe qué, madre? Esto y esto y esto está pasando. I don't know what to do. ¿Qué me puedes aconsejar, And she was like, "Mijo, just pray. You already know how to pray." And I was like, "Yes, mom, I do remember." Okay, so I did. And that's when I started practicing my connection, you know? Next thing I know, um, I started meeting people who were, like almost in the same struggle that I was, but they were doing good. So I got with them, and they were helping me out too. They were giving me clecha on how to do things, on how to have like a better life and everything. And little by little, one thing jumped into another, and I started my transformation as a person. Like mentally, emotionally, financially, everything. I'm not gonna say that I'm rich because I'm not, but when I say financially, finally I found myself a job at a time that it helped me out, and I was praying, and I was scared. Thank you, I really thank you for this. Um, but there's only one thing pending until today. I need to keep up with my spirituality, and I'm saying from the heart, yes, I need to keep that up. Um, yes, I do pray, but there's got to be something else, you know. So for me, saying this, it is necessary because I'm feeling it right now. I'm in it right now.
Man, I want to add on to something. Just as much as the body needs nourishment, our spirit needs nourishment. And for as long as humanity has been around, we have been spiritual creatures for a reason. And to omit that from the human experience kind of takes away from what makes us human. Because we're not like most beasts of the earth. We're not. You know, we may have a lot in common with our cousins in the animal kingdom, but the fact that we even get to discuss like philosophical questions and personal beliefs in itself, really distinguishes us from every other creation on earth. And that's for a reason. It's not coincidental.
Um, like around the whole world, bro. Like when it comes to religion, um, there's a lot of wars and stuff like that, right? Different cultures, like in the Middle East and whatnot. Uh, you know, they in their scriptures it says that if people don't agree with their religion, they are free to basically take them out.
Right.
Right? So, with that said, has religion done more good than bad in society, just overall? And we're gonna go with homie. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Luke.
I mean, we've had societies that have completely omitted religion and they still ended up in war or poverty or conflict, right? It really doesn't have to do with the concept of religion. It really has to do with the concept of what humanity chooses to do with their belief systems, right? As a reason to justify their means. So, yeah, we could say religion is responsible for warfare, but we also have societies that also prove to the other extent of the point, which is, we've had cultures that ended up in the same position. It really has nothing to do with faith. It really has to do with uh, absolute power corrupting absolutely, and people using religion as an excuse or a means to justify what they believe to be true. You know.
Yeah, go
No,
ahead, Royal. What do you think about that, bro? Do you think that religion overall, talking about all religions of the world, has it done more good than bad in society, bro?
yeah, they probably have done more bad than good. You can take it back to like the Aztecs. They lied to all the Aztec people. They corrupted the whole story of Jesus, and that's how they conquered the Aztecs, bro. And Jesus didn't even talk any of the stuff the Spaniards were preaching, bro. Like, yeah, shit goes way back, bro. Shit goes way back.
Sure, bro. Uh, Brownie, what's up, bro? Well, I mean, what do you think about this, man? I mean, religion overall, man. Like,
Yeah,
muchas muertes in the world, bro. What do you think? Has it done more good than bad?
more bad than good. You know, more bad than good. You know what I mean? Because like I was saying earlier, if you practice your faith the right way, everything's gonna be fine. But not a lot of people do that. A lot of people, they be saying, "Oh, I'm from certain religion," and next thing I know, and once they turn around, they start doing all kinds of shit. Um, politicians. How many times have you heard, politicians? Oh, we're gonna do this in the name of God, and God bless America, and God this and God that, but they don't practice none of these religions. All they do is steal money from people. All they do is killing motherfuckers for no reason. Go to another country and start a war for no damn reason. And what's they're saying? Oh, it's in the name of God. God help our troops. How you gonna ask God to help our troops to go kill people? What the fuck is that? Serio, homie. That's one of the things that I'm like, that's just one of them. That's just an example, eh? But if you look at it, if you look through time, if you look on time, how many times religion and politics go together and they don't do nothing for the people. They don't do, just like a brother said, if you go back on time, Spaniards came to conquer, and what happened with the Aztecs? They were killing people in the name of God. What kind of shit is that? You know?
They got it all twisted, bro.
It's all twisted. Like once you start practice your faith, one of the first things they teach you is respect others. So if I'm gonna come right now or move to an apartment, by example, and just because the neighbor is a Christian, I'm gonna start criticizing and start talking shit, and I'm from different beliefs. It doesn't make no sense. And that's what people don't see. They see
Well,
they
look,
see the hate from others, but they don't see, the love that you have for your faith.
bro. I
They
want
do,
to
they
point
do.
something out.
Yeah,
Like, I agree 100% with what you're saying, but I also want to point something out. We're living in a very strange time, bro. If you notice, a lot of these mainstream celebrities, they're already coming up with the whole.
Your audio went out. Royal, your audio went out, bro. Can you repeat that, please?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you now. You were
Yeah,
speaking facts and they cut you off.
the,
Dang, they don't want
the,
you to do the talk.
the stuff from the devil, people are coming out like it's nothing, dude. And look, like, I'm not here to bang on anybody, bro, but it's getting out of hand at a certain point, like, están pasando, like you fools know what I'm talking about, like Lil Uzi Vert, you got fucking Rihanna coming out on red, throwing out the satanic signs and shit, like, it's also a time where we need God too, bro, with this whole pandemic. So, something big is happening all around the world, bro. Because if you tune into, like, because I tune into a lot of Christian ministers, bro. I have a Christian podcast called Raw Christianity, where we talk about the brainwashing of the government, how they use the Bible, how they use God to manipulate us and control us to be a certain ways and not reach our full potential as human beings, bro.
Yeah, I totally believe in
Great.
that. I totally believe in that. Um,
But now let me bring it back again.
yeah,
Now that we made the point of, like, what religion has done to society, right? Let me bring the question again. Is religion necessary in society? Now that we established the stuff that religion has done to society, before we got conquered as a people, right? Before we got conquered, we had our own thing going on, right? But this whole religion thing came, and it seems to have corrupted a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So now, on that, going back, isn't necessary. Can a person fully function in society without that belief of religion? Can a person be, moral and have purpose and have all these things that a person needs to thrive in society without the belief of religion?
No, go ahead, brother.
It's
Go ahead.
it's funny
Ahead.
that
Yeah, I think it's
bro.
completely.
It's funny that you say that
It's
because people that study DNA have identified that we have a gene in our DNA that is made to worship. We have a worship gene in our blood.
Uh, Based on what, bro? Based on what facts is that? Like the worship gene? He
Our
goes
evidence,
up.
I can
Yeah,
bro.
go
I
ahead.
can expound on it because I actually seen the study that he's talking about.
This
So they
is our
put
evidence.
they put brain scans on people. So they put like a contraption that
Oh,
scans
I know what you're talking
yeah.
about. The part that triggers when you're in prayer and things like that. Is that what you're talking
Yes,
about?
that's what he's talking about.
We have
That's not a gene.
whoever created us,
It's a part of the brain
the creator.
that it
There's a designated space in our mind and our DNA for that.
So they did
right?
the study, I believe, in a Buddhist temple, a Christian church where they're speaking in tongues, and some other religious institution. They said that the only one, and this is not, we're not talking bad about any other faith or belief system. They said the only one that was actually getting the receptor getting turned on, basically like a switch, was only the Christian church. When they were worshiping, they said it was like really that these people, when they were speaking in tongues, it was like an automated response to some spiritual phenomenon they were feeling in the air at that time. But they said even though that they had that evidence, it didn't really matter to them because they knew it to be true anyway. But I'm basically paraphrasing what the study was. But for my own response, yeah, I do believe that a person, that doesn't conform to any belief system, any traditional belief systems, can still be a moral person. But the question really remains, like, is it still necessary in our society? I would say, yeah. I would actually say that Judeo-Christian beliefs, for the most part, have kept this planet safe. And even atheists, figures such as Richard Dawkins even has to admit things like this. The author of The Selfish Gene, he'll come on and say, because of these, what's up, homie? This is my best friend right here. So anyway, like I was saying, right? He said, despite my critique of this certain faith, since most people on this planet have conformed to it, it's made it a much safer place. But yeah, I see no issue with a person not necessarily having to conform to it. My belief system doesn't require you to each their own. And if God is given to you as a gift, it shouldn't be forced on you, right? Because that defeats the purpose of a gift. I can't show up to your house for Christmas and be like, hey, you better take this gift or I'm gonna whack you with this fucking stick I got in my hand. I'm not gonna do that, right? That just defeats the purpose. So that's my piece.
What's up, bebecito, man?
What's
What's up? I
happening, my
don't know how
brother?
much. Yeah, I don't know how much of this you can hear, but some deep stuff that we've been talking about.
Beanie Gang, homie, Beanie Gang.
Beanie gang, you know the vibes, man.
Man.
You know the
Now,
vibes.
now let me pose this question to all y'all, man. Now, disrespect with the young ones, right? do we need the fear of God for them, for people in general, I guess, but you know, I'm talking more so for the youth, right? Does the fear of God need to be there in the minds of people
bro.
in order for them to behave, uh, you know, behave in society, right? Not do all the, you know, what the Ten Commandments say not to do, right? Does that fear of God need to be there, or is it more of a, you know, inner human, you know, feeling that we all have that to do good instead of bad? What do you think, Bebecito?
And I was about to say, pick me, pick me. Let me answer that question because yes, we need the fear of God instilled in us. You know what I'm saying? I really would have gone down like a deep, dark, ugly path. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for, you know, me having the fear of God in my life and my parents also instilling the fear of God in me. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, my daddy comes from El Salvador and my mom is, you know, Cubana and Mexicana. You know what I'm saying? So those are all bold personalities. You know what I'm saying? And they was gonna give me that motherfucking pow pow. You know, they was gonna install that fear of God, you know, into me if I wasn't on my P's and Q's, which they didn't mind reinforcing as many times as they needed to, you know, which is lacking in today's society, you know, as it's apparent by, you know, just motherfuckers talking all crazy to their parents and shit. We gotta honor thy mother, thy father. We gotta respect the chain of command, you know what I'm saying? Those are God's words himself, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we all need the fear of God. You know, my cousins went down you know, and not to dime them out, there's, you know, certain particular cousins that I have, you know, my dad's side of the family, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, made decisions that, you know, got put them, you know, in jail, you know what I'm saying, for a long, just football stretch, you feel me? And it's crazy because we grew up playing video games and stuff together, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and these folks would play Tekken together and shit, and, you know, play tag in the yard and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, we both grew up, you know, the same way, but you know, the fear of God and my parents, you know, just keeping God present, you know, all throughout our household, you know, making us read, you know what I'm saying, like making us use our minds, you know what I'm saying, like it was just apparent, you know, when we started going out into the world and stuff like that, you know, and impacting people positively, and you know, I love my cousins, you know what I'm saying. I'm not here to judge them because that's not my position. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, facts are still facts. And, you know, I have those ones that, you know, just, you know, were moving with that, you know, that spirit. You know, I don't know. I feel like with Salvadorians, we have like a, you know, this, like if we want to turn it up, like if we want to go to 10, we're going to go to 20. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to harness that energy and use that shit for good. And that's all with having the fear of God first. You feel me?
Yeah,
I,
man. Feel it, man.
I like this guy. He's going places.
Yeah, I think so.
How do
I
you feel about
think
it?
so too. We need to fear God, but most important, we also need to respect God. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes. I'm
We
working, hey, and
definitely,
I'm working on that. I'm not holier than thou by any means. You know what I'm saying? I even say
yeah, of
this in
course,
songs. You know, like
definitely,
I'm working on it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm working on loving God the way God wants to be loved. You know, and He has
exactly.
directions. You know, He has directions on how He wants to be loved, and I'm working on, you know, meeting the standards. You know, there's iniquities and shortcomings and you know, frailties that I have that I need to iron out. You know what I'm saying? But that's, you know, between me and God, you know, me and the Most High. But it's like, yeah, man, I'm working
And
on that too, bro.
and
For real,
now
respecting
and
God.
also
You
another,
right?
yeah, and also another thing, sometimes we got our conscience telling us when we're about to do something, like something bad. Like, let me give you my example. Sometimes when I drink,
Real quick,
and,
Brownie,
and
what you just said right there, bro. What you just said right there. We got our conscience telling us.
yes,
So that
my
you're making it seem like that's external from that God, that religion, that spiritual side, right? So
yes,
that's kind of like what the question that I was posing, right? Where, you know, can we can we function just by our inner, you know what I mean, conscience, right? Telling us not because it's a wrong thing to do, right?
yeah,
So it's like, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
I have that. You know what though? I have that. My conscience tells me, hey, you know what you're doing is wrong. Jorge, you can do it a different way, or you can do something else instead. But you know what you're doing is wrong. And that's why I was gonna put you my example. You know, like sometimes I drink, not to get drunk, but I drink. But there is a time when I'm like, when I drink too much, I'm like, my conscience is like, what are you doing, Jorge? Somebody's watching you, eh? You know, like go back, you know, who you are, you know. Stop right now, and that's just an example. You know, people, you know, who does other things, you know, stealing, killing, whatever. I, I'm not, I don't know, but they might have their conscience telling them, hey, what I'm doing is wrong, what I'm doing is wrong, what I'm doing is wrong. So they have that fight in their minds. I'm gonna do it again, or I'm not doing, or I'm not, or I'm just gonna keep it right here. So, yes, we need to fear God. We need to respect God, and yes, our conscience. It ain't just me; it's everybody. Even you know the brothers right here. We all got that conscience telling us, "Hey, God is watching." Eh?
For real, for real.
What you think, Lou? Think on that, man. We need that fear.
Everyone's speaking so much facts, bro. It's overwhelming. I've never been in a live with so many geniuses in my life. It's
You're
like everyone on
a
the same
genius too,
page.
brother.
Finally,
You're
finally, you
you're a
know what I
genius
mean?
too.
Nah, Lou is the truth, man. Hey, Lou is the truth.
Yeah, man. Yeah, these two dudes right here, all three of them, they all solid, you know. But
Thank you, God.
yeah, I have to agree with just about everything you just said. You know, the beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Lord, at least in my eyes, right? And you know, I've been pretty objective in how I've been seeing things. But if you're asking for my personal opinion, this is Lou talking right now, right? There is nothing more, you know, masculine or, you know, man-like than to live selfless unto God, to me, right? When you put God first, everything else follows, you know what I mean? Like when you put him first, God will direct your path. He makes everything clear, you know. When you feel like you had a way, God makes a way. He makes something out of nothing. He chooses the person that's least likely to serve him and makes them into somebody. You know what I mean? And there's no one too far from the grace of God that can't be redeemed, you know? Even if I feel like you can't be redeemed, that's not what God says. That's what I say, maybe, but that's not what the Lord says. God don't make trash, right? You were all made with a purpose and made in his image, right? And, you know, even though a person can act moral without a belief system, you know, there's an added on, you know, conviction onto you that has like a responsibility onto somebody, onto something else, right? There's laws that govern the universe. What laws govern us in the natural and the spiritual, right? And you know, people believe in karma. It always comes around, right? But more than that, there's something dictating it in the universe. Obviously, no bad deed goes unpunished. Even after that person's gone, their lineage will suffer. Just look at history, right? I mean, it's not that hard to see. So that's my piece.
I'll trip out on this, man. Another good question, man. So if I'm, because I'm not a Muslim, am I going to hell? Are you guys going to hell because you guys ain't Muslims? You guys ain't Jewish? You guys ain't whatever it is that other people have as religion, they wholeheartedly believe it, that their God is the right God, right?
Hey,
Right.
man, in
If y'all
scripture,
don't
you
believe
know, go
in
ahead, go
other
ahead.
than, yeah, my bad. Yeah, real quick, yes, just if y'all don't believe in Muhammad, are you going to, are y'all going to hell? If y'all don't believe in Buddha, are y'all going to hell?
We gonna
Others
punch?
across the world don't believe in Jesus. Are they going to hell? Let's start with Brownie. What's up? Go ahead, man.
Okay, like by example, if I have, you know, like by you, and you decide to become a Muslim, hey, must respect. That's what you want. That's what you believe in. You've been reading about it. Now you're gonna about to start practicing. Go for it, my man. You know, if that's gonna make your life better, if that's gonna make you better as a person, is that gonna make you um, be the person that you always wanted? Most respect, man. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna come up to you and start talking crap or telling you stuff like, no, don't do this, because they're gonna brainwash you or whatever. No, instead, I'm gonna support you, and if you can teach me something good out of it, hey, it's welcome. That's my belief.
I mean, I get that, bro, but I'm saying about the going to hell part.
Let me add something.
You know what though? Okay, listen, I don't think there is hell or heaven, like literally, like a literally a hell. I think we live in hell on earth, killing people, wars, hunger, all kinds of shit. I think that's hell, and we're living in hell. I think we're in heaven when we feel at peace with ourselves, cuando estamos tranquilos. When we doing good for others, when we're working on us. I think that's heaven because you feel so good, you feel that peace inside when you pray. I think that's heaven.
Well, then, if one believes in Jesus, then one has to believe in hell and heaven, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, the scripture is a waste. If one is going to follow it, it's going to follow it thoroughly. If not, then not, right?
Yeah. So, do I believe there is heaven? I mean, in hell like that? No. But we're living in hell. Yes. That's my opinion. That's my answer. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know.
He said his piece. That's all he can say, really. He's obligated to it, and that should be honored. But you're asking a question. Like he's a judge, right? Even if I read you the black and white, this is a living creature. If God is real, right? And if God is a good judge, he's going to judge by case basis, right? Let's say you believe in Jesus. When he was dying on the cross, he was being crucified next to two criminals. Okay. Next to these two criminals, you have one that was begrudgingly mocking, Christ. And then on the other side, you have a person who is repentant, right? Jesus had no reason, to let this man into his kingdom, right? Because he basically broke every single law in his commandments. He didn't honor God in his life, but he was repentant, right? Jesus made up his own mind. Like, even though it says this, I'm the law now, right? He broke the judicial law in their eyes several times because he became the law. He became forgiving. He became merciful. And what he tells this person is, you will join me in paradise, right? You don't have to conform to that belief system per se, but what I'm saying is, if we're believing in a just God, right, a judge, a highly intellectual being beyond all comprehension, I'm not too concerned about who he deems worthy into eternity or not. Because that in that instance right there, he's seen the heart of the individual, right? Not the actions of the individual. And for that, his heart made him worthy to, enter his kingdom, not the things that he did, right? That's the whole reason why he died. Because there's nothing that, me and you could do to gain our rite of passage, to be right in God's eyes. Nothing. But you see, God wanted even the playing field, so he sent his son in this tale. So if you're asking from the perspective of the Judeo-Christian experience, that's my answer to you.
Well, more like in general, because all religions have a good and a bad place. They don't all call it hell or heaven. They call it, it's basically a good or a bad place based on the person you were, right? Their life. So based on that, to know that everyone, all humans in the world that live in certain places of the world, they all conform to a certain mentality, certain thinking process where their scriptures are, you do good, you get rewarded with good in the afterlife, right? You do bad, you get thrown into the lake of fire, or based on whatever religion, right? So with that said, like, who's to say who's correct? And If
Right.
you are not correct, then he's incorrect. If you're correct, then they're incorrect.
You
And
see
if
that?
they're incorrect, they're going to hell.
And like I said before, that question doesn't concern me, because if whatever God entity is part of whatever belief system, and I believe this individual to be all knowing and all good, right? That question doesn't really bother me. I don't think if a just human being is going to make a case by case basis, he's going to judge by the facts, right? In fairness. I have to believe in absolute fairness in order for me to believe in any sort of deity. And I believe that's the case, you know? Like I said before, people get their comeuppance throughout history, whether you like it or not, right? So that shows me that there's something giving order in this universe without our intervention, right? So let's say I am a Muslim, or I am a Buddhist, and I come before a trial of a different faith that I don't conform to. That God is still going to judge me based on a fair scale, right? It has to. It's not a question if, it has to. That's a given.
Now, is it fair for a child to die early, like in their lives?
Not really. I
So
mean, but
how is that
we're judging factors, right, that are more based on biology. And if eternal life is really real, right, and if we're going off of that, you know, what's the greatest amount of loss in that situation? Because that child gets to live in eternity. So
well,
think about it this way. Think about it this way before you add on to anything.
No,
Right?
that's facts.
All right. Before you add on to anything, let's say that this deity exists and eternal life is real, and this kid dies young. That kid gets to live in eternity in peace. If there's no God, then that kid just lived a meaningless life, and it just ends, right? And you
or
have nothing to be mad at,
you reincarnate, which is another topic.
right?
Bebecito, what's
Hey,
up, man?
you
What you
know,
thinking, man?
you know, they say, man, the devil's greatest trick is to make you think that he don't exist, man.
Right.
Shit. And at the same time, they say that only a remnant will make it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't make this up. This is scripture. Don't quote me on it. Look it up for yourself. Do the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm trying to make it into, you know, the good area, you know, so by doing good deeds and literally, man, you know, I'm trying to be with the
My boy
winner's
said
circle.
the
You
good
feel me?
there.
Now let me ask you this.
I'm trying to be with the winners. I'm trying to be
Yeah.
with the winner's circle, man. So
Yeah.
hey, you know,
He's
even
trying
though
to
I'm not
be on
balling
the
shot
cool
calling
side,
right
not the
now,
hot
it's
side.
okay because God is gonna provide a way.
I get you. But check this out, Bebecito. Now, let me ask you this. So it took for you to read a book about someone that died for our sins to do good in your life. Why so?
Wait, run that back.
So basically, it took for you to read about a person that died for our sins to do good for your life. Why can't you do good for your life? Because you love your life. You love who you are.
I
You do
never
good
said
for
I
your life.
didn't do good. I always strive to do good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I do way more good deeds and I help a lot more people than, you know, I would ever think about hurting anybody. I've always been the big, like, brother. You feel me? I have two younger brothers. So I've always had to look out not only for my interests, but for the interests of, you know, my familia. Man, you know what I'm saying? We all we got, you know? So that's the mentality I've always had, a team player. You know what I'm saying? I don't go around fucking people over and doing dumb shit, you know what I'm saying, to bring misery and pain into people's lives. Now I wanna bring, you know, regardless of if, you know, I knew there was a book or not, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out there and do the best I possibly can because, you know, I grew up in sports. I grew up in, you know, just freaking creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, yo. Like, yeah, I for sure am
You
not
know, like
gonna.
they're just questions to
What?
you know what I mean, get that mechanism in the brain moving about this, right? So like I hope you guys ain't thinking that I'm like, pressing on you.
No, no, no.
These are
When I
kind of
come
like
into any
Don't do it.
situation,
Don't
when I
do
come
it.
into any situation, I bring my whole mind, man. So it's all
That's
good.
what's up, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I love playing devil's advocate. No pun, intended. But like these are things that people think about. You know what I mean? People think about these things, and they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to seem like they're dissing someone, right? These are questions that
No, this
But
is actual factuals, things we need to be talking about, things that they be shadow banning, and that's why we don't have the numbers that we should, because we're talking about real shit. And they want to
Right.
promote all this demonic shit all the time, but they don't want to
Amen.
promote the good shit like this, so we like underground.
Right.
It's like we
Right.
over here freaking underground now, permanently
Right.
shadow banned because they don't want to allow the real to get out there to the people.
Tell somebody.
so now you know what? Like, me personally, bro, I do good to people, right? Any day, right? Any day.
This boy
But this is
funny,
just a
man.
question just to find out why people are getting away from the good and going into the evil, like most in society
Because, man,
now.
they're being deceived. It says in the scripture, throughout the scripture, be not deceived. That's the first thing that should be saying. Like, if you read into it, be not deceived. Do not let the motherfucking devil deceive your ass, because it's a daily, every day we wake up, it's a war. We got to put on that shield. We got to put on that armor. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real, man.
Hey, let me tell you something, dude. This hot topic. This man's so genuine. It just, it's funny. I ain't gonna lie. This
Bro, I
dude
just,
is
I
so
just be
real.
speaking from the heart, man. This
Yeah,
is
this
freestyle, man. I ain't reading no motherfucking script. This is just all off the dome. But
Now,
yeah,
let me ask
man.
this, the last question before we switch it up, because I saw some people want to come in. If our ancestors were to be around, what do you think they'll think about today's religion that we live?
Oh, that's a good question, bro. That's a good question.
Go ahead, Ron.
I think they would be upset. I think they would be like, hey, what the fuck? Well, what's wrong with you? This is what we taught you guys. We left this for you. What you guys are doing now? That'll be, I think they're probably going to be like, you know what? Let's go back to death or something. I don't know. I really don't know, but I think, ancestors will be like upset. Yeah. That's all I can say. Like they'll probably be saying, they're probably going to be saying things to us, like
Go ahead.
all kinds
here's what I
all
think would
kinds of things to
happen.
us.
If all our ancestors were resurrected right now, they'd go on TikTok for 10 minutes and they'd all do a mass suicide.
Yo,
They're like, they're gonna say,
bro, you know
fuck
what?
all this. It ain't worth
Social
living.
media is really
We
fucking
going.
up people's psyche, bro. Like, no lie, man. And you say it as a joke, but that's true, bro.
Yeah,
People
no, real shit. Like they're like, man, this is a
This fool said
dumbass planet we
Cortez
live
son.
on.
Yo, wilding in the comments.
What are they saying right now?
Nah, bro, I've been reading the comments the whole time, man. They be wilding, bro.
Yeah, them motherfuckers would be like, yeah, we out. Like, fuck this. They'd see like the Tide Pod challenge and just be like, all right, that's it for the day. We dying.
Yeah, but this is something we need to talk about, because nobody really does it. You know what I mean?
Nah, motherfuckers are lost, bro, and it shows, man, and it speaks every day.
You know what I mean? If our ancestors that believe in the moon and you know what I mean, doing all these rituals for it to rain, for all these things, bro. Like, then you introduce Jesus. What do they think about Jesus? What do you think they think about Jesus, bro? Like, for real.
Dude.
Romeo Reels, bro, y'all funny, man.
Hey, bro, check this
man,
out. No, dead ass. If our ancestors seen like Edgar's, for instance, it'd be like, this fucking Taquache is my great grandson. I'm gonna kill myself. Like, I would too. Fuck. Like, they came from like alpha male fucking culture to this little bitch shit, and they probably wouldn't like it in general. You know what I mean? I don't even want to imagine it. It's like your grandpa's disappointment times 1,000. You know what I mean?
Yo.
I think
Romeo Reels is funny, bro.
I think ancestors will be looking at Jesus with respect. I think ancestor would have been like just listen to him and maybe try to ask questions and try to get to know each other. You know what I mean? Because our ancestors, they were real respectful. They really had that knowledge. And when you read about when you read about the Mayan wisdom, one of the things they teach you is listen to understand. Don't criticize. Listen to understand. So I believe, the problem would be listening to Jesus and asking questions and
Man, Besito, man, what you think about this, man? What do you think our ancestors would do if they were here? If they see all this new new age religion.
Man, them motherfuckers will have a big laugh, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how it is in your family, but like in my family, we be roasting the fuck out of each other. Like, we just be clowning, bro. And they'll be
Based
roasting a
on
lot
what?
of they'll be roasting a lot of the fucking just boof ass shit that be going on, bro.
Yeah, I really need to get
Hey,
Romeo
hey,
up in here.
Romeo, bro. Hey, for the speak Spanish thing, bro, that's still the colonizer's language, bro. So what are we talking about?
Either way, we fucked, bro. At this point, we're mutts. All of them mutts, just straight up mutts, bro. And there's no fucking genuine blood in us right now, bro. So, but anyway, is one of you like well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch with the whole group. So thank y'all for joining in, man. Stay in the
You're
comments. You
welcome.
know what I mean?
Just
I'm gonna
imagine, no, just before you leave, I want to give you a hypothetical. Imagine our ancestors see like a guy who claims like he's like native or something. He has the most European fucking features, light ass skin, a long ass fucking European ass beard, and they're going to this powwow like, what the fuck? What's up with all these fucking Spaniards? Shit. These motherfuckers got hair on their legs and shit, and fucking beards and fucking back hair. They'll be like, what the fuck? Like, what did you guys do to our shit? So I already know, like, even the people that practice their faith right now, they probably won't like them either, a lot of them, because they're diluting it, unless they come from, like, a truly native place and not hopping onto something, But that's just my take,
All right,
yeah.
guys.
One of the things I want to say is that it don't matter what kind of religion you practice.
Right.
Just practice it with faith and respect, and believe in a higher power. Believe in God. Connect with God. And practice what you preach. That's it.
Right. Amen. Amen.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it. It's gonna get good with Romeo. See what he says, man.
Oh, bring him in, bro.
Bring him in.
All right.
And bring Romeo in, man.
Hey, Romeo, the number one person that looks Spanish, bro. before I dip out, I'm gonna say that.
All right. Go, Romeo. What you gotta say? I'm gonna bring también Jose Aguilar. What's up, Jose Aguilar? Still in? También Romeo. What's up? See what Romeo got to say about this. But you know what? Growing up, like, I had Theo's cousins and stuff that were like
All
drinking
y'all
shit.
fools look Spanish. Everybody on here is Spanish. Everybody on here is Spanish. We're gonna talk. Let's do it. Let's do it real. Let's talk to a real artist.
But yeah, man. Hey, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro, for the people just listening in the audio.
Yeah, right quick. My name is Romeo Reals, Romeo Realz. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on YouTube. Anywhere you ever would think of, I'm there. I've seen a couple interviews. You feel me? And I love the way you ask questions. Because I think that you ask real good questions, but you don't get really good answers.
That's the thing, bro. That's why I love playing devil's advocate, because I try to, and I don't like pissing people off neither. I mean, I like to get almost near there, but I don't like being that fucked up.
I love fucking everybody up. Because I'll tell you right now, big dog, these are real big chains. These are real big chains. Everything I got, Bebecito knows I pulled up on him on a brand new Cadillac. My shit's real. So when everybody talks about this and that, or they talk about what they have or what they can have or what they think they can have, I'm going to tell you what you can do. I think that a lot of people could shut the fuck up. And a lot of people could actually take advice. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't take that advice and grow, then you keep talking. You keep talking. And I see a lot of people talk on your podcast, bro. And your interviews, they talk, bro, but they don't have nothing to have. Oh, you ask people, what's the difference of you and them? Or what's the what do we have missing? And I can answer all those questions, brother, way better than anybody else can.
Bro. Let's get to it. But first of all, bro, let me ask you the same thing I asked them. Why is religion? I asked them, is religion necessary? But I'm gonna ask you, why is religion necessary?
We'll take it back, way back. We'll take it back to where religion got imprinted into our lives. First and foremost, we never have religion as far as us because we're native. Where we come from a background of Native American people, right? We're Mexican American, all right? So when it comes to that, we were introduced to a white man's religion, which is Christianity. Before that, we had totally different religions. You feel me? We had so many different religions that you could have always put into our ancestry. Now, you're talking about a new religion that got imprinted into to Mexican Americans, right? Or American people, which they're emphasizing on a white man's religion. This is all religions that are based upon this. First of all, a religion as Christianity was built on, it's a cult. First and foremost, Christianity is a cult. I don't give a fuck what you guys think or anybody thinks. Christianity is a cult. So if you feel that Christianity was what we had from the get-go,
You froze? Oh,
Damn, it froze,
I'm
bro.
about to.
That's it, bro. They
Back.
trying to censor you, bro.
He'll come back. But
Damn,
he's
bro,
speaking
it
facts. But you know
froze.
what? One thing he said though, that Jesus was white. I don't believe he was white. But anyway, it's another topic. You do really?
I do.
That's not how the Bible
Yeah, bro.
depicts him.
He was Marco Antonio Solis, bro.
It does look like
El Buki, bro. El Buki,
Buki.
bro. Growing up, I used to think that was Jesus growing up on some real shit, bro. And then I found out it was Marco Antonio Solis.
Yo, what's up, Julian?
Nah, but
Finally got you on, Carnal. What's up, man?
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I don't know how much you heard of all this, man, but this is my religion is better than your religion or the lack of religion, bro.
Oh.
That's what we're talking about, bro. So just
You got brought.
just to get you on, bro, just to get you on. For the people just listening to the audio, you know what I mean? Who are you, bro? And what is a little brief background of your family's religious beliefs?
Dude, so I'm Mexican, man, and so we are indoctrinated to be Catholic. You know what I mean? I think you come out of the womb, dog, and you're already baptized. You know what I mean? But dude, I'm from California, the Central Valley, living in SoCal, and a veteran, United States Marine Corps, and yeah, man, I just came on board, man. I think the dude was getting all crazy, man. He's like, I don't care what you think, and then he got all froze up. I was like, dang, bringing all that energy, bro. You can't be getting all wild out like that, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, so what do you guys think, though?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, is religion necessary in society today?
Dude, you go first, dog.
You sure? So, all right. So personally, bro, when it comes out to my religion, your religion, I grew up, Christian, like most of us are, right? And Latino America. So my belief growing up, as I evolved, I started believing in certain saints, right? And a certain pattern. So, my friends are Muslim. I have Jewish Muslims, Buddhists, and others. So I took a little bit of here, I took a little bit, like meditation, I took upon with the Buddhists. The Muslim is that brotherhood, right? Christianity is like the saints, like big time for me personally, being Mexican, like Virgen de Guadalupe, right? Even though we all know that, some of us know the fact that it was not real, but at the end of the day, when you pray to her and you ask for certain things, your belief is so strong that it comes to reality, right? And when it does come true, you're gonna believe. And we all need that belief system, because without the belief system, what is there, right? Even an atheist believes in something. So that's where my religion comes from. So I'm not strictly one. I'm a mix of multiple religions compared to other people who might follow their religion to the T. So that's my interpretation of mine and yours.
Gotcha. What you think, Julian?
Dude, I think that's when he's talking about like praying, you think about like um you think about like just like the mindset and like what you're really feeling in your heart, and when you're getting ready to, is he back? Is he back?
Oh shit! Here we go. Sorry, I had to get a beer real quick. My bad.
Dang, he's
My
coming.
bad, Favreau. My bad, guys. My bad. My bad. I'm here in the fucking building. What's up, Brown? What's cracking like it, Favreau? You got me fucking feeling like next Friday, bro. You got me all fucking excited. All right, so
What's up?
push it to the side. Push it to the side.
Yeah, the homie Julian is spitting some fucking facts real quick though.
Okay.
Now, después de él, bro, you can give your 2 cents. Ahora
Dude,
All right.
and he brought it. Yeah,
Yo, he came in with mad
he even
energy.
came in double fisted. He's like, I'm ready for this. He's like, yeah, let me. No, dude, like, dude, I think the original question was, is religion mandatory for today's society?
yeah, it's necessary. And like, do we need it?
Necessary. And bro, dude, like, I don't know if you need to believe in like a standard religion, but you need to believe in something, dog. You need to believe in like I'm speaking for a man, right? And I'm speaking for myself. Is that like if you go through and you don't believe in nothing, then like, where's your true north, dog? Where's your morals? Where's your values? How are you going to lead your family? What are you really striving for? If you don't have like nothing to believe in, if you think that we're just here, you're here on Earth, just by chance, and that you just so for like a little bit of my story, right? This fool's over here. This fool's taking it straight to the dome ski. Look at him.
Sale con premio, homie. Sale con premio.
Just real quick, bro. You mentioned that without that true north, that our morals are out the window. So do you believe that without religion, we'll just be pieces of shit, just like not knowing what to do, like treating people just fucked up and all around? Or what do you think?
Oh, dude, my little girl's waking up, dude. I'm getting too excited. But yeah, bro, I think that like, all right, man. I'll jump on it a little bit, man. But I got an answer to that question, man.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah, go ahead for sure.
Daddy duty.
That's right.
Aww.
You gotta respond to that.
I'm not even gonna lie, dog. I'm a little jealous, bro. I wish I could go back into like when my kids were that age. You know what I mean?
I still got kids like that, bro. Chiquitos and shit.
Serio. So,
on, bro. They want more attention.
So back to your topic. I just wanted to say this. First and foremost, I'm here with Brown. Dog.
That's right.
So, but right on the topic. The last time I remember about religion and belief, right? I remember that back in the days they prayed for water, sand, earth, wind, fire, and all this good stuff with all the gods, right? But then there was someone that crossed the ocean with a book and said, "This is the book. This is what we need to do. This is what you need to do." Now, with those centuries of years that went by, you saw the culture just change into a whole different soup. I like to call it like corporate. That's just my opinion. You dig what I'm saying? Everybody just forgot about that culture of how they were living. You know, the culture will always live within blood. Blood would always be exactly what it is, and you could even call it a different era. But even with that evolution of next eras, you know, not even them. They're not gonna forget this. They're not gonna forget where they came from the culture of how they were, and chanclas and little fucking like I killed a lion. I'm wearing that shit like a skirt type of shit. You know what I mean? But they rather rock some denim, some shit, and in other words, you know what I mean? But with believing, I kind of feel like you gotta heal yourself. Whatever you're going through, go through it. Cry. Be angry. Let it out. Don't ever harm yourself or harm any others. Don't ever take it to that extent, because that's just the evil in everybody that we have. You know what I mean? I could go right now and fucking pull out my Uzi and I'll shoot my whole fucking block, you know, but that's just to fucking have everybody on the page where we could all be evil, but at the same time, we came out with love. My mom loved me. Your mom loved you. You know, this person loved you. There's someone in your life that just fucking loved you and showed you real love. And with that, you just got to believe in yourself and that heart and that love and believe in that. If you don't believe in religion, believe in that. Heal yourself. Make sure that heart's good to always give back to everybody else. Because at the end of the day, when we look up, there's always a God. Might not be the same God that you think, but I still fuck with you. I still rock with you. And as long as me and this motherfucker got whatever we got going on, we always gonna end up right there in the skies, bro. I just wanted to say
Praise
that.
Allah.
Praise Allah. That's right, bro. Praise Allah.
Well, like Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, fucking what else am I missing? All those kind with extra phlegm. No, for real. Like I just wanted to say that.
On the real though, you know what? You say praise Allah. Now let's go back to that question that I was posing to other homies. So now they believe a certain structure of do good and go, you know, kind of what we base as heaven, right? Do bad, go to hell, right? If they believe that, right, so wholeheartedly, that if you don't believe what they believe in, then you go into hell. So now, and vice versa, if they don't believe in our Jesus, then they go into hell. Now, what do you guys believe about that?
Well, when someone tells me that I go to hell, you could go to hell. I tell them, all right, cool. It's called a fucking throne, baby. I'm gonna let you know something. You know what I mean? That's just how I look at it. It's either you get influenced into the evil that people believe, and you turn out to be the evil that society gave the picture to. You know what I mean? They gave the fucking label to. You don't want to be that fucking person. I want motherfuckers just like Brown, just like King Mexico. I want motherfuckers to just be you guys. Remember, hey, remember when we were 12? Remember when we were 10 years old? I want that kid to come out of you in this form. And if you could be that person, bro, I rock with you till the wheels fall off and we put the motherfucking spare on. That's a wrap, bro. That's a wrap. And then if I ever die, you guys better say something good at my funeral.
What you think, King Mexico? Think about that, man. Are we going to hell because we don't believe in Muhammad,
No,
bro? What
personally.
you think?
Well, it all comes down to your belief, you know? If you believe in, like me personally, right? I think we're living in hell. Because when they talk about hell, this is hell, right? We're faced with temptation. We're faced with war, right? And killing. So everything that's in the commandments, right? We face on earth. So we're facing it now, right? But then when we go to hell, which is the problem, I mean, when we go to hell, when we go to heaven, that I know, right? I flipped it right there. So when we go to heaven, that's the promised land. So we don't have that's what we're taught, right? And our religions teach us that once we get to the heavens, there's no more worries. Life is easier. Everything's much smoother, right? But as a kid growing up, I used to think the aliens were just playing a cruel joke on us to believe in God. And but hey, how do we know we're not living in what you call it, in a simulation? You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I mean, you could look at
So
it, bro.
it's
It
all
can
up
be a
to your
simulation from God or from this energy that we call God, right? It can be a simulation based on what they created, what the architect created, right? Because a lot of people call the most high the architect because he's the one that created all this, right? Created all of us and whatnot. But now, yeah. But back to the question though. Just because someone believes it so wholeheartedly doesn't mean that the whole world should believe it just because a book says so? Or is there more to that?
No, I
I
think
think
there's more
there's
to that.
more to
A
that.
book, look, at the end of the day, if you go to any religion, a book gives you guidelines, right? They give you stories of situations that should happen. And this is how you're supposed to live a life. Now, that's just opinions on everybody else. Just like if us three right now, we had different opinions on everybody else, but we wrote a fucking book. And it's more like guidelines to like how you're supposed to do it. The same answer you would have, I would have, and he would have. The same answer as these listeners, there's 13 listeners that are here live with us. God bless everybody, by the way. Thank you for putting up with my drunk ass, and I'm still functioning, but that's not the point. The point is that at the end of the day, if we see someone homeless, like today, I'm gonna speak facts today. Today I seen a fucking grown brother, probably in his 50s. He just got out of the hospital and he's in his boxers, bro. The human thing that I did and my heart gave me, because I could have a cruel heart, but I learned how to fucking rise above that and fixed my heart. My heart said, cool. Came home, made him a sandwich, grabbed shorts, grabbed him a t-shirt, and I was about to give him this pro club. I fucking took my bike and my motorcycle. I fucking went over there where the cops were at, and they already took them. But see, my intentions are good. No matter if it's just them. Like just yesterday, I had a elote man come down the block, and it's fucking rare. It's like, bro, on my block, it's like seeing a fucking unicorn. You dig what I'm saying? I told the brother, I was like, hey, how much for the elote and some chips? Because I like the fucking chips, bro. When they fucking put that lemon in the chile, bro, fucking forget about it. I'm in a whole different level on that one. You know, but I told him, how much? He said $6. I gave him 20. And he goes, oh, here's your I'm like, nah, keep it, bro. I don't put that shit on my live. I don't put that shit on Instagram, TikTok. I don't want that. That's the goodness of my heart because I see someone hustling. I see someone struggling. And the best thing that I could do, how I was raised with my love, and I had to find that, bro. I had to understand. I had to dissect what the fuck love is. Was just me being me and how I was raised. If you were
So was
raised,
that by religion, or was that driven by your being brought up the way you were brought up?
it could be the religion part too to it. You know what I mean? Because the way I was brought up, bro, I could give you a sad story about the hood and blocks and this whoopty woo, you know. But we're talking about religion right now. The religion part of me gave me guidelines on who, how, what, when, where, and once you answer all those questions and you find that that answer, you kind of gotta mix it up. You know what I mean? Put some sugar and spice and chemical X on that motherfucker, and then you come alive. What would you do? Honestly, here's a question to you, Brown. Brown, have we ever met? Have we ever like kicked it at a party, drink a beer? Have you came to my birthday parties?
Didn't invite
All
me,
right.
homie.
So what happens right now? Look, I own my own house, my own garage. Let's say tomorrow you find me on the street, Skid Row. What would you do?
That's a conversation we had last week, bro, about homelessness, and that's the problem too, though, because so not to cover on that topic, but people do what we do in our community to ourselves a lot of the time. We fuck up our own environments, just like the riots and all that shit. Why don't we riot where we should riot, not in our backyard and shit, right? So it's more of a laziness. We don't really want to extend somewhere else, or we're like, fuck it, we're here anyway. And they just fuck up this block, right? So it's not really much to do with religion, because that's just human nature, bro. It's easier to destroy than to build. You know what I mean?
Right. But within your religion belief, right? Whatever religion you went through, what did you learn out of that?
There's a lot of good and a lot of bad in religion.
Then
And
there you go.
Christianity.
You did the good.
The world had to be broken up and remade because God didn't like the way we were acting in society, right? Why did he have to kill, basically destroy the world to rebuild it? So that's the God that the Bible depicts, right? That he has to, it's kind of almost even human behavior, because sometimes, say we're writing a note, right? We're like, fuck, I fucked up. Let me crumple it up in a la verga, right? That's human behavior, bro. Doesn't sound godly to me.
Think about this. If you destroy the world he created, having us, all 16 viewers, plus her. Hi, how you doing? I like your glasses, by the way. Haven't we all gone through that, where we gotta destroy, we gotta cut off a bunch of people just to be us one more time? Fuck, and I'm saying this drunk, bro. I can't believe I would have said this shit sober, my boy. Like, me and King Mexico would have been like,
this question: if we were to be born in like more of an Eastern society, right, where they have like these deities that they believe in, right, we would probably conform to their beliefs because we're there. You know what I mean? We're living there, so we most likely will conform to that, right? So now, like I said before, you know what I mean? Like, now we're living over that. Pretend we're already there. We're living. We're brought up there and whatnot. So we believe in these, deities. You talk to someone that's a Christian, and you say basically the same thing that we're saying about other cultures, right? Your Jesus is nothing to me because that's not who I was brought up to believe in. So you're going to hell because you believe in Jesus. We believe in these deities. You know what I mean? So what do you guys think about that?
So, like, I do believe that everybody has a form of God. God being the highest of the highest source, the source one. I talk about it all the time. I definitely believe that it is the same God, it is the same creator, and it's been hard to separate God from religion because everybody just thinks religion, church, it's all, connected. But in reality, God is not connected to church. God is not connected to reality. I mean, religion. Um, I think that, you know, ooh, and that's hard because like I came up on Catholicism and Mi abuelita being the one that taught me how to pray and taught me everything that is good about religion. And I thank her for instilling good things in my head. The religion was just there to exist as a guide for those, first of all, being Christian, that's a colonized religion, okay? So for me, I don't claim Christianity. In our culture, we have La Virgen. Look, I literally have La Virgen right
She's
here.
right there. She's right there.
It's more of a symbol of my upbringing from what my abuelita used to teach me. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of my upbringing than religion didn't make me who I am. It was my family. It was my abuelita in this case. Um, and like I've said before in multiple podcasts with y'all, like I believe you are God. I believe I am God. I believe that you are living a different version of what this physical life is, whether you want to call it a simulation or a realm or the matrix. Definitely, we all exist. We're just existing at separate. Time is also a construct. Really, we're all here just living a physical version of life. This isn't really us. This isn't really my body. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I take with me is my energy, and we all go back to the source. We all go back. So you and I, we go back into the same unity, one. That's what I believe.
What's up? What's up? Now, I had posed this question to the other group, and I mentioned to them, if our ancestors were to come back, what do you think they'll think about our current new age religion?
No, it's because that's a hard question because I really do believe that there is no such thing as time. Like everything that happened before in time, like everything that happened ahead of our time already exists. So ain't no jumping within time frames. We already existed all in one at the same time, singular.
So do you feel that maybe their spirit is, do you think they're in some kind of control over what's going on now, or is it just they're gone, that's it?
No, everything that existed, everything that will be, has been. That's it. Like ain't no controlling or manipulating of time. Time is not linear. It exists. It's crazy.
Bless you.
Like
I guess what I'm trying to get at, because I don't think you touched on my question like necessarily, but what I'm trying to get at is basically their belief system that they had back then. And I know, like,
no, because
going along with your, linear time.
I do think that my ancestors are back to the singularity, and they can only help us, get to points of realization. I think that once they have gone to the point of clarity and they realize then, you know what I'm saying? So like, it doesn't matter what religion you have, if it led you to a positive state. When we leave, when our physical body dies, you're in a positive state, you go back to singularity. And if you don't, you're in a negative state and you stay stuck until you're ready to go back to singularity. It's all about energy. God is the highest energy.
Now, before you add to it, it's Mr. Well-Known. Now, why didn't our ancestors come across this Jesus? If that's really what he wanted to reveal to us, right? Why didn't they discover Jesus?
Well, there was this, depending on
Like,
what part of the
so
world
for
you
our
were in,
immediate
right? We had
ancestors,
different
the
beliefs.
Mayans.
All right, so my ancestors, right? So I know personally, Mama Deuce came from Mayan. My dad came from Aztec. So I know from my ancestors, they believed in multiple gods, right? And then when we got conquered and the Spaniards came over, they did their deeds and they forced Christianity upon us, right? Because even my great grandmother, she still taught me that, you know, you still had gods, you know, that you had this God for this God for that, right? And then her mother taught her about Christianity, which my mother passed down to me. And like I said earlier, I believe in taking a little bit from this religion and that religion and making it my own religion, right? Because at the end of the day, we still need to believe in something, bro. We can't just be fucking roaming around without a belief. Because, like I said before, even a fucking antichrist person, atheist, believes in some shit. Their belief is they don't believe in nothing, but they do believe. Because most of these people that do that shit, when they get really sick, bro, the first person they run to is fucking God. No matter what situation it is, they run to, oh, there's a being, and all of a sudden they get better and they open their eyes like, oh yeah, there is a God. They don't call it whatever we call it, but they call it their own interpretation. So my ancestors would look at me funny because they didn't believe in what I believe.
Have y'all done shrooms?
I did it. They laced that shit with weed. Yeah, answer is yes.
What?
My answer is hell no. I'm a Boy Scout. I never do drugs. I sold a lot of shit, but that's a whole different story. I didn't like the way how my friends turned down because they were trying to kick it with people that were trying to smoke weed, and that's chronic back in the days. They were trying to do coke. They were trying to do shrooms. It never got to me because if that's what I need to do to be your friend, I ain't fucking with you. I'll sell it to you, bro.
What you're talking about, bro? You gotta tie
I
it
don't
out.
need it.
You gotta
No,
open.
see,
You gotta open the portal,
it goes
bro.
back to exactly what he said, though. You gotta believe in something, right? And what would your ancestors say? First of all, I'm just gonna say this off the bat. I'm gonna say this as a joke. My ancestors would tell me, "You're wearing too many clothes, dog. You need to get on King Mexico's Daisy Dukes shit." You know what I mean? So, second of all, I don't know about y'all, but do you guys believe in your kids? Do you guys believe in giving them the best world education and everything? Cool. Then we just there you go. We pinned it right there. We believe in that, and that's what we all grow from.
That's right in front of us, though. I mean, that's our task that we. And see, but that didn't take religion to tell me that I have to do good for my children.
No, exactly.
That took experience, and that took observing my parents, observing society, how it's fucked up to not take care of your kids, right?
But with that being said, what did it take you to believe that those kids need the best life in the whole goddamn world? The same reason you just said. There had to be something that you had to believe in. Like I said, you gotta build your own heart. My heart was in a whole different that way, bro. It could be from LA to New York on the other side of the, you know what I mean? I had to actually be that little Lego and had to fix that to understand and then believe I have this and I gotta treat people like this. I believe in something. I do. I honestly do. And it could be God.
I don't think that. I think that what I'm trying to say is that it's completely different. I'm not completely different, but definitely like religion, God, separate things. Because mankind created religion, all sorts of religions. We all have,
and then
right?
Yeah, but on the side note, I just want to say this too, Don. I'm sorry, bro, because I know I'm always shitting giggles. Honey, I love your nails, honey. Let me see those nails, honey.
You know what? To be honest, there's an echo, so I can't even hear what you're saying.
That's me. But hey, Brown, I said what I had to say. Sorry guys, I gotta go take a little potty break. But hey, it's always a blessing. Thank you, Brown. Just believe in yourselves. Have always a good heart. Never doubt what you need to doubt, but always accept people for who they are. Like if they're snakes, backstabbers, cool. Accept them in your table. If they did you wrong, cool. Make peace. Know how to take a loss. know how to fucking lose with them or against them, but never have someone that's gonna hurt you so bad that heart right here that we all have is gonna destroy it to become something we're not, bro. That's how I see it. Because anybody's welcome at my table. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you where the fuck you're gonna sit on my table. Brown, it's always an honor,
Yeah.
blessing, King Mexico. I, I,
Praise
I really don't know
the
your
Almighty,
name, but I'm gonna
right?
call you
Praise the
Honey.
Almighty.
Honey, I like your nails, honey. Woo! I almost married her, bro. All right, later.
It's like right now, right? We could start a religion
Facts.
right now,
Facts.
us three. And there's 16 people right now listening to us because we are disciples. And this is how probably it started one day. Somebody was having a conversation. They got a group of
Right.
people, started speaking the word, and little
Maybe
by
do
little,
some
it
shrooms.
rippled down. That
Yes,
is
there
actually
is.
a religion
Yes,
out
there
there
is.
too that does
Actually, that
shrooms,
was
believe.
our
You see?
ancestors' medicine, actually. And I don't use it to get high. I use it to heal. So two different things, right? Like I know, like the other guy really has some like negative connotation to shrooms and medicine. But yeah, no, that's definitely purged. Not this last time, but the last time that I did it. And I came to some beautiful, beautiful realizations. I cried so much. I got really in tune with my own God. And, you know, basically you feel like you're detached from this physical body and you can see what life really is besides this physical body, which, you know, our energy was, which is dope, which is what we were talking about. So it really makes me more connected to that godly source, if anything. And it's, you know, my friend was like, oh, Minnie, because they call me Minnie. She was like, I really need to tap in with you because, you know, because she did it with me. And she's like, once you do the shrooms, you all the way up here. And I got to make sure you come down with me because, you know, I can get stuck up there, which is why I don't do it often. Because that's why I feel like I need a lot of grounding. I need a lot, you know, to do a lot of work here in the physical realm for me to feel like, you know, to have a purpose, right? And so, like, I feel like with religion, um, it's it's simply like it's like guidelines. Everybody in a different country has a different God that looks different, and as long as it keeps you in a positive state, then that's the godly energy that we all want, and we all want a purpose at the end of the day. And so I think it's beautiful when people find Christ, you know. And I don't necessarily it's crazy. It's just because I used to obviously believe in certain things that I was told, but now doing my own journey, I really detached myself from church, from religion, and just I'm more spiritual and more of the source of God, that godly energy, that positive energy, putting good out, you know what I'm saying, and recycling it. So I don't know, crazy what a shroom trip could do, right? But it's also like, you know, learning and, you know, talking to hella people and figuring what they believe God is. But yeah, shrooms.
Now the question still stands
But
though: is there religion, or is it just our instincts, our conscience? Is it just our inner, you know, belief to just thrive in society? And that's hard
It's
to say
purpose,
because
bro.
you can't put your finger on it.
Purpose.
You can't put your finger on it because we've been brainwashed.
Yeah.
Like we've been so it's hard to you know decipher whether it is religion, whether if you're questioning, like me for example, like I have the little voice in my head when I question certain things, like no, don't do it. You're going against the Lord. You're going against this. You're questioning things, and that's based off of the book that tells you don't question. So is it the book telling me not to question it, or is it really an external spiritual thing that's telling me don't question it? That's the fucking
you know
part.
what it is?
I
You
don't
need to go on a
know.
trip, bro.
Uh,
Yo,
On real
not on some real
shit.
shit, bro. It seems like when you go on a trip, right,
Yes.
and you come back, you see shit different. And you explaining the way you explain it is probably the way that you think before you go on the trip, right? And when you come back from the trip, you realize that we're all the same, right? And we all got our inner demons, right? And eventually, that's why I'm always chilling. I really don't stress shit out. I let everybody be bygones, you know? And like I said before, it's like you Muslim, we cool, but I understand that when you're like deep into the religion, you're gonna believe in it, right? I can't change your mind. I can't change what you
Especially if it's
believe
doing
and
good
what
for
you
you,
stand
right?
for.
Like you say no to that. Like, yeah, sure, whatever you think that gives you that positive path, keep doing that.
Now, is that selfish though? And let's go back to that though. Is that just being selfish because it brings you comfort?
Well, at the end of the day, bro, if that makes you comfortable and makes you
Hmm.
selfish, but it makes you
It's
a better
kind of like
person,
making
go for it.
the claim of like, well, you know what? I like to go to strip joints every weekend, but I'm married. I don't know. I mean, it makes me feel good though. But,
Then go
No, but
for
it
it,
that,
bro.
no, but you can't.
That's
Different
valid.
things. Yeah,
Valid.
is it? But
Nah, but
is it
here's
though?
my
it hurt.
thing. You
Because it's
helping
making
them
me
get
look at
you
in my
helping them
eyes.
as a
Okay,
business,
I'm
right?
not saying that's going on, all right. But I'm saying in my eyes, if that were to be going on, uh, it would make me more of a you know, let's de-stressed. It would make me de-stressed, so thus make me a better person throughout the week, which a lot of people do. A lot of guys go se da una pinche peda, you know, they hook up with chicks, whatever, you know, all this and that, right? This, that, and the third.
You
And in the
need a
week,
better
that's like their
distraction.
refresher, that's like their de-stressor, right? So, and just like that, religion is for people that need to de-stress from their daily week, right? Their week thing, right? That they go through up and down, right?
Not necessarily to distress, but just to have hope, because hope is beautiful and hope goes a long way. So to have faith in something that's higher than you, that has a plan for you, then it kind of gives comfort, and you can't compete with that. But also, what you're saying is a completely different thing, because by you going to church, you know, following these positive rules, you can't be out here judging people for not doing it either. So, you know what I'm saying? But you also, if you're gonna go to the strip club and you know your wife is not cool with that shit, you also could bring a lot of pain and hurt. So, like, as long as it doesn't bring pain and hurt to anybody else, doesn't hurt nobody, cool. Do what makes you feel positive. You know what I'm saying? You saying going to the strip club is distressing. Okay, well, if you single man, if nobody's gonna be hurt by that, by all means. But if it hurts somebody, that's when it's like, nah, bro, you can't say that that's godly. That's not godly, because
Now,
you still hurting.
instead, how about this? If your family is Catholic and you decide to do the whole, you know, Christian thing, now that's hurting your family by turning. A lot of people, like, for example, on my family, like, people started like turning away from the family members that were going
That's
to,
not
like,
that's not very
the
godly.
hermanos, right? They call it the hermanos, ya te hiciste the hermanos and stuff, right?
That's
So,
not
like,
godly.
so that's hurting someone though, right? But that's what they believed in. That's what they went with it, right?
And that's criticizing, and that goes against God. Like, God, that's not very godly of you. If you say you Christian, Catholic, whatever you are, that's not being positive for you judging anybody. Like, what? Especially like if it's for
But they don't.
positivity, like, what?
But they don't
It's
understand that
a
because
traditional thought
they're in their
church,
books.
right? It's like that, like, but
Yeah.
people out there don't hurting people. Like, make that make sense. See, God is more higher than that. Fuck a religion. You doing right by you. You doing right by family. You doing right your community, and you're spending your time here physically. You know, making sure people are good. Okay, taking my husband is Muslim. My parents.
And Rosana, I gotta get you in here, man. That's a tough one. Catholic and Muslim.
Yeah.
Ah, you mind coming in the
Yo, that
conversation,
show.
Rosana? I'm gonna send you the invite. Is that's
Yeah, that
very
show.
interesting.
Mo.
Oh, No,
If they
That should
that
break
that
shit
us
real
respect
down,
is
bro.
slick.
godly. Respect is godly. Who's hurting who? Nobody's hurting nobody. You know what I'm saying?
But I personally understand where Brown's coming from, but it's something that you just can't help it, bro. Like these two religions or multiple religions will always have some type of conflict. Perfect example, right? Jerusalem, which is shared with the Muslim community and Jewish community, have this huge war that's been going on for years, right? And they still can't come to some agreement for the Holy Land, right? And the war's based on
Told
religion.
you that religion is man-made. That has nothing to do with God. They're not even fighting for God. They're fighting for some other shit. It's when we remove those two things
And
that we can what God really is.
but I think that's kind of the conflict that we have over here between us three. Is because we are the other side, right? We are what we considered my religion, your religion, because we are more
Oh,
of an
and I'm over
open
here like no
religious
religion. I'm not an
person.
atheist either. I believe in
No, but like you just pointed out, right? Your
no.
belief is in
I
La
see
Virgen de
you more,
Guadalupe,
Millie.
right?
I see you more like
What I meant
spiritual.
is that's a symbolism for something positive. So I connect her
But
positivity
yeah,
gave to me by my grandma. My grandma instilled that in me. Not the video. The video.
but your subconscious, right? Your subconscious still believes in La Virgen de Guadalupe in some weird
It
way.
still
It's
represents
still
something
there in your
in my life.
subconscious. So,
Mhm.
exactly. So that's what I mean
Mhm.
when something happens, right? And back of your subconscious be like, yo, Virgen, watch out for me. Or watch out for
Mm.
my kid, right? Because subconsciously is ingrained
Yeah.
in us to believe, even though us personally in the current state of mind don't. But when shit gets tricky, we always reach out to our source. So like me personally, right? I said it like I said earlier, I believe in La Virgen de Guadalupe big time. But you hear me spill all this shit right here, you'd be like, yo, but then I come out with a curveball and be like, but I believe in La Virgen, right? Me knowing the personal, me knowing the history of La Virgen and how
Mhm.
everything came about. But because
Mhm.
it's been ingrained since I was a little kid, when
It's a
times get hard,
reminder,
I always
is what
reach out
it is.
to
That's
her.
what she is to me now when I see her. I just get reminded of my grandma, which is a very, very positive. It's just I just like stones, you know, when we wear stones, like I put them in the sunlight when it's a full moon, so they get charged. And they may not have any effect. To be honest, it's a placebo effect probably. The fact that I use them as a reminder, like what if I'm having
That's a
a
good question, though.
market? I'm
Is religion a placebo effect?
Yeah, see? So it still comes down to what we were engraved as a child, right? So it doesn't matter how we word it
mm,
or how we put it, it's still religion.
mm. Oh,
And we
that's
just have to
Virgen
grasp the
Maria's swastika.
done. What about everything new school that I'm going to teach my son? Like, like people have different religions, but as long as you do positive, beautiful things in this world, that's godly. You know what I'm saying? What is his religion going to be?
so yeah, that's a perfect example right there, right? So going to Brown's question about our ancestors, right? You're gonna teach you was brought up a certain way, right? So not even to go that far. Your grandma taught you this, right? And you're gonna
No,
teach your son
not too
different.
different, just a different like I feel like our
It'll be a different
yeah,
structure of what
we
you
we
grew up
put
with.
characters just like the Bible does in ideas.
So coming back to point A, it would still be somewhat of a religion.
I see what you're saying. It's just
See?
I just
It,
don't think
you don't want to,
right.
the thing is, you don't want to
Right. I
word
don't want
it
to
with
speak and say
religion.
religion.
But at the end of
I
the
think
day,
it's
whoever you speak to, that will be categorized
but what
as
do
it.
all these religions have in common? That's the
Well, all of them have, everything is based on the same storyline. They all have 12 disciples, right? They all have the person who came down to earth to free everybody, right? Except Buddhism. But every other one has somewhat of the same factors, which is ridiculous, you know what I mean? And we're all the same at the end of the
Mhm.
day, but people don't want to realize that. And if people to go on a trip and then realize this shit, then the world would probably be a little bit more
Fact.
open.
Um, like, how do you like? Okay, so when it comes to other religions, I can't sit here and say I know a lot of. I just know how I was brought up and how I can easily separate it all now that I know more. But it really takes for us to go on our own journey. And you can't just believe one story um, of one religion. You kind of
But
have to
it's be,
learn them all to have a better scope of things. And until nobody can sit
but
here and
here's the
say,
thing.
this is the right religion. Like, who's to say?
If
Hmm.
if we were to bring up somebody in here, right? It would have been a whole different
Yeah,
conversation if we would
because
have had a
they're
Muslim
very
brother,
devoted.
a
Right,
Jewish
right, right.
brother in the conversation, a Buddhist
And I,
practitioner, and a
mhm,
Christian. And it would have been way different because we all would have been able to argue, right? But due to the fact that we all have Christianity as a base, it makes it a much easier conversation than if it would have been
right,
four different religions
absolutely.
in this
I,
conversation. Then then one person would have like, well, this is my belief. But the people who will have to come on will have to be people open and be able to speak about it in an open mind and not in a box. Because once you get in the box, you're not gonna get out your
yeah.
way. You know what I mean? You're gonna be stuck. Oh, this is this.
I mean, just
I am
the
right.
title
I am right.
itself,
I am
my
right. But
religion
if you,
versus your religion, it's like you have them up against each other. Like, wait, what about no religion? All religion. You know what I'm saying? All of it is valid as long as it, like I keep saying, gives you that positive journey in life.
but then that will come to the same argument when it comes down to, even when it comes down to like the whole pronoun thing, right?
I, I, it's all
That
about
whole he,
acceptance.
she, they,
It's
them.
all about acceptance and respecting one another.
So yeah, then it'll get a little
I
bit
mean, if
even more difficult. You know what I mean?
everybody has a
So
different
it's
definition of what
all.
respect is, and yeah, it's gonna be very conflicting.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy on the bottom right, you right. You gotta like, no matter what you believe, it's good to still have an open, be an open box where you can still like hear other people's, because everybody has different experiences in life. Nobody can really say like you didn't experience that. Like if you know you experienced it, you know. You guys know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a Christian, you know what I mean, but I'll be the first to say I ain't perfect. Like I still deal with things and whatnot, but like you are right too when you get people that are super devoted and they don't want to right away that you try to give your opinion or something and they want to like shut it down with their point because they're trying to prove their point to you instead of just being themselves and walking out whatever they believe in. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'll never like judge people that are Buddhist or are Muslim like that. I don't. I mean, they have their own
Mhm.
experiences, you know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I feel
I
you
get
guys.
it.
I feel you
I
guys. You
get
know.
it. Why
I mean,
people that are
it
so into
like I.
religion look down on others that are not in that level because they're of the world, right? They're still sinful, right? Because
Right.
they haven't changed their ways, right? But now, do
Right.
we need that fear of God in order to be good in society? You guys think?
Do we need the fear of God to be good in society? To a lot of aspects, yeah. Because, like, I mean, I personally experience God. Like, I believe in God, you know? Like, I have my, like I said, but that'd be coming from my own experience, you know? Like, to have the fear of God in you, it's like everybody has a conscience, and we're all, if your conscience, you know when you're doing right or wrong. Nobody don't got to tell you, like, okay, like, the laws don't murder, don't steal. But when you're doing it consciously, you know you're doing wrong. So it's like, where does that conscience come from? You know, that's a good question too. Like, where does that conscience come from? For someone that hasn't experienced, like, did you guys know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the first time I've ever been on a live, so I'm a little like, all right, it's a little
It's
intimidating a little bit, but
all
it's
good,
cool.
man. We can,
Yeah, yeah,
talk about it, like real straight up about things, because a lot of platforms they talk about it real like sophisticated and whatnot, but what I mean, I just like to talk about
mm,
it just lay back and just in your own words without having to like needing to bring up these long words and what I mean, make it
yeah.
all like
Make it
what I
like
mean,
overcomplicate. I
but
know what you mean.
like
Uh-huh.
it may
Yeah,
be
yeah, I know what you mean.
somewhat basic because I am not thoroughly read on scriptures around the world, right? But as I have it
Yeah,
understood, a lot of the religious scriptures around the world have rules, have rules that you cannot, cross. You
right.
cannot basically go against, because if you do, then you're basically going to hell, right? Now, the same question that I told,
Well,
what was that?
well, I don't mean to catch up, but like how you said hell, like then where does the different okay, like the different religions, right? Why would they? It's almost like, okay, or let's just, no disrespect to any religion, right? Because we already found that, right? I'll say Buddhists, why would they believe in the hell if they wouldn't believe in Christianity anyway? Because that's
Well,
where
I mean,
like the hell comes from,
every
which is in the
religion
Bible, right?
has their not
You know what I mean?
necessarily hell, but they call it something else, but it's basically the same place.
Oh, okay,
Basically the same place. You know what I mean?
I
But it's
got you. I know
based
what you.
on their,
Okay,
what I mean? But
my bad.
like
I,
what I was saying
I got you.
basically is like to be like in that perspective where I was saying before, like in the like Eastern society, they believe a certain thing, and if we don't believe it, are we
Mm,
going to hell because we don't believe what they believe? In
yeah,
their minds,
In their
I hear what you're
minds,
yeah, but
yeah.
saying.
overall, is that truth? Like overall truth?
Li-
In
like the,
theirs, yes.
I mean,
are you referring to like the
anyone that
Muslims? Because
basically we're not,
you're referring to.
basically the opposite of what we
Oh,
believe, or what you as an individual believe. Would you go to hell because others,
mm,
as a whole in their region, believe something that you don't, and they're saying to their people, we gotta believe this. We gotta bow our heads or do what they do
that's a
as a
good
ritual.
question.
You know what I mean? So
That's a
now,
good question.
as a
That's
whole,
a
believe
good
that
question.
if their
That's a good
people
question.
don't do what their scripture says to do, now they're going to hell. Now the other
Mm,
side of the world believe something,
mm,
a totally different scripture, right? Now, what I mean, it
mm.
may contradict, it may not, but it still falls upon the same rules of follow this. If not, you're going. If you do, you're going. You know what I mean? Up. If you don't, you're going down. So I mean, like, what do
Mhm.
you think, man?
Right. So my opinion on that is that I agree with you. Like, how can we say like the tribes, and not technically just say Africa, because that's the perception of Africa, none but like tribes and stuff. But just say tribes that are out there, like they never heard Christians. They grew up believing. So it's like, are they gonna go to hell because they didn't believe in Jesus? But they never experienced that. Or like different people that have different ways of believing, like how you're saying, right? So I think there's some from the way I think, I guess some people, there's just some questions will never have answers. You know what I mean? It just with anything, like, why do people die? Why do people get cancer? There's just some stuff we'll
So,
just
so
never
what
know, and we
what
was
form what
as
form do we
people we
take
want
when
the
we all
answer.
die? Because we're all like these physical humans, right? What form do we take when we die?
Right.
No, bro. I'm not
Ashes.
talking.
We only
I'm gonna be
resurrect.
I think
We
cremated.
only
well,
come back as someone else if you're
Before you,
within
what
the religion that believes.
before you get resurrected, what are you?
okay. Are we on like not technically telling our own experience of what we believe in, or we're
Just
just
your
talking
own
like on
your
a
own
table?
perspective
We
of it. Yeah.
Just
Or
talking
because
about
different
uh,
thoughts of what hell
okay,
and
okay,
heaven
because
is.
I mean,
Well, let's talk about what form do we take when we are no
mm,
longer in this body, right? And because when we're no
I become
longer in this
an
body,
atom.
we can
don't
see with these eyes. You know what I'm saying? We
right,
can't hear. You know what I'm saying?
right,
We
because
in this physical
right,
format have senses
right,
um that are probably
uh-huh.
different from when we die, when we are just an energy.
Which is we'll see. So if I'm coming from what I believe in, yeah, because when me being a Christian, believing when you die, you really, it's like your conscience is attached to your spirit. It's like your emotions you feel when you emotion to something. You feel something. What is that? Your conscience talking to you. So it's like that's your spirit, you know. So I mean, from what I believe, when you die, it's your spirit. It's either gonna go to heaven or go to hell because
What
it's like
what
that's your conscience.
determines
Like
it?
you know, even if, you know
Like if you left in a positive
the what.
state or if you left in a negative state.
Well, being a Christian, what you believe is like, okay, well, God is
What
Jesus
what
Christ in the
about
flesh. You know what I mean?
what about
They're like, okay,
psychopaths who
huh?
really believe like
Hmm?
they did nothing wrong and they just killed 20 people? Like in their heart, they did nothing wrong. Do they go to heaven?
Uh-huh. Well, it's kind of like, well, if we're going off, like, say, okay, we guys all understand what I believe now, right?
Right.
So if I'm going off my belief system, it's kind of like, well, it's like I don't have an answer for that. But if I would kind of go to guessing or kind of that, it's kind of like, well, if he's sinning and he's murdering somebody and he's just killing somebody, well, I would believe, and he died in his sin and that thought process of murdering and doing wrong, I believe he'll go to hell because he's conscious. But see, it's hard. Some of those cases are hard
Right.
because
They're
it's like some people are messed up in
doing
the head, and
wrong.
it's like, are they really attached to their conscience? Yeah. But say there's somebody that just really is conscious, but they're just out there killing people. And if they're out in their heart and they haven't repented of their sin, they're just continually doing it and they die. It's kind of like, well, if you're doing that, you're rejecting God. So more likely when you stand before him, he's gonna say, "Depart from me, you never knew me," because you're living in that in evil, basically, you know. Yeah. But like I said, the fear of God too. Like I said, the fear of God, like that's the fear of God is good in a lot of ways. Like, can we really say like it's a negative thing? Because it's kind of like, I mean, what like the Bible too, like from a lot of different religions, it's like some people, not everybody, but some people, oh, it's this strict book or it's this and that, but it's like how, like okay, like Jesus, right? Because that's what it's basically about, God in the flesh, right? Look at like a lot of his teachings were all like, do good unto others. Okay, this is the thing I think I was gonna say earlier. Okay, a lot of the religions, yeah, you're right. They all like kind of line up with each other, find your way. But see, Jesus is the only one that died and rose again. And it all like Buddha, like from what they believe, he died and he's dead. Okay, Muhammad, he died, but they believe Allah's gonna come back. God's gonna come back through another new prophet. And then what's the other ones? There's a couple more. I can't remember off the
So
top of my head.
wouldn't
But Jesus
like
is the only
Buddhism
one
though?
that. Huh?
Wouldn't that be Buddhism?
Hmm? What?
For
Like what?
Jesus to rise again,
I mean,
wouldn't that be Buddhism?
well, see, it's hard for me to say too because I don't have a full understanding of Buddhism. Like
Reincarnation to
huh?
come back to life.
Reincarnation.
What,
Yes, yeah. I
what
mean, that's a
exactly
good
is
question.
reincarnation? Reincarnating in your own body or reincarnating as someone else?
I think with the Buddhism that I understand, they do come back, but in a different physical body.
Right? But that would be more like in the lines of resurrecting, right? Because that's his own body that he's coming back in, right?
Well, like Jesus, yeah, like from what the Bible says, it's like he's God in the flesh. So when he died, he basically went to hell, took the keys, and everybody that died before him, he basically bring them back to heaven because it was in the old law of when they had to like do sacrifices where they cut the sheep and all that stuff. And then when he died, he broke the. See, I haven't been studying lately because I'm living right,
Me,
but I
like
ain't
I'm
living
not
like
a
I was.
scholar
There was a
either, you
time a
know what I
couple years
mean?
back
I just go based
I knew a
on
lot. I
basically,
knew a lot. Yeah, like
basically barely touching
okay,
the you know what I mean?
yeah. Now, if I could tell you my experience, I believe God's real because I've experienced them, and it's kind of unexplained. It's hard to explain because when you really experience them and you're in His presence, like not church as the building, but church as a real church service where people up there and you're getting prayed for, and you just feel this presence come over you, and it's like, oh, how you know it's not demons or how you know it's not the evil? Like it's because it's like okay, if God's good, I mean, he's a just God, right? But if he's good, it's like why would he want to, like, that feeling you feel is like, it's unexplainable, bro. Like, it just is. It feels so good, and it's like, you just know
Now
that
the question
like, you
is
just get
is
to,
that
I
a
don't know, it's
placebo
hard to
for
explain.
the atmosphere
Yeah.
that they're placing in that environment? Because they have music that is so mellow and it gets you in the the
Right.
right lighting and everything. Like when you're in a concert,
I
like
hear you.
that's wild. Like no, there's some
But
like some heavy metal playing, right? You're
no,
not
no,
gonna be
right,
just
right.
chill. You're gonna be
I hear what
go
you're
along with the
saying, bro.
energy, right? If it's
You're gonna
wild,
get the
then you're gonna get
vibe,
wild
right,
too.
right. No, but see, I've see, I grew up partying like that too. Like, you know, living there back in the day, the high key
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
You
yeah.
get like you popping ecstasy pills, like you get that. No, but this experience, bro, it was different. It was like that, but it was like more. It was more like it hit you more like it was. It's hard to explain. It just hit you more and more. Like I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know how to explain it, man.
Probably
It just hit you so deep in
in
your
tune
emotions
with
and in your
something,
heart and like your
something.
probably your conscience.
You're
Like
in tune with the higher frequency, something that you can't sense in this physical realm. You completely attach to that. You know what I'm saying?
right,
It's the same energy that I've been talking
right,
about. I think every religion has a
mm,
sense of that.
mm.
You know, like
Right, true. Because which is not
Mhm.
the Buddhists, but the monks, like they do some crazy stuff too. And monks, like you see how some of them they're
How,
like still
bro,
in their
that
form when they're almost
purification,
dying. Like
bro.
that stuff's crazy. Yeah, that's it's powerful, man. Like it's crazy. It's like a crazy. See, that's what see this open book. Like
nah.
I'm not
Yeah,
coming over
no,
here trying to preach to you
you know
guys and stuff.
what?
I'm just telling you
The
my
questions that I'm
experience, you know.
posing, I probably to a lot of the listeners and stuff, I probably sound like the most atheist person in the world, right? But look, I ask questions. I ask
Are you
these
good?
questions because it's so
It's
necessary
good at
to question certain things. That this is why people turn atheist. This is why people turn and hate religion, like hate it with a passion,
hmm
because
hmm
so much that is not
Right,
talked
right.
about.
That's true.
Because when you ask something, and especially you ask a pastor, you ask you know what I mean, like anyone, you know, in a religious, you know,
hmm
with religious background, they're not going to answer that. They're going to be like, well, it's all based on belief. You have to believe, but you know, there's questions that we have, right?
I hear what you're saying. Right, right. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like, right, because I could be like, well, yeah. I mean, it does have to do it, but I hear what you're saying, though. Yeah, exactly. Like, why not? Why not just? We're all human. Like, even a pastor. Yeah, he's okay. He's ordained. He's up there and he's preaching. But with all due respect, so I'm being respectful too for anybody. Like, he's just a man, just like us. You know what I mean? He does with his own issues, just like we do. Like, but like the perception of the church and stuff is like the pastor and the preachers. Oh, they're held on this pedestal. And because there's a lot of churches that are like that, where the pastor gets arrogant and he thinks I'm up here and I'm the man. Nah, like God will strike him down. You know what I mean? Like they're just humans like us. They deal with shit just like we do. You know? You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying though, but to be able to have these dialogues like you're having with this thing you're doing is cool, bro. Because like you're getting different outlooks on different people's opinions, on their way they
Yeah,
look at things, and there's thousands of people in the world, bro. You get different
exactly.
outlooks. Like it's cool. This is cool, bro. Like
Yeah,
this is good. This is what we need because people. Me and I was just met this dude in San Jose a couple weekends ago, and we're having this conversation. People don't nowadays don't know how to interact with each other. They don't want to talk. They don't want to. They're so in themselves and in their lane. And like you go out just to go get a coffee, you just want to start conversation, and people just turn off to it right away. So so that's what I mean. That's the power of social media too.
being
Like
a
you know what
white,
I mean. This
bro.
interaction's good. So you're doing something positive, bro, and
If
I respect you for that.
Exactly,
That's
you
bro.
cool.
know something and
Now to
Yeah.
know nothing at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody knows everything.
exactly.
None
You
of
know
us
what?
do. You
Everyone's
know.
points are valid. You know what I mean? Because that's your experience, that's your point of view, and I'm just posing the questions, and I'm just giving my 2 cents también. But like, you know, now to wrap it all up, you know what?
Uh,
Does religion make the person, or does the person make religion?
Person makes wrong, bro. All
that's a good.
day.
That's a good question.
Does
What say
religion
say
make
say
the
it say it again?
person, or
Say it
does
again.
the person
Does it?
make religion? Because see, it's kind of like that whole what came first, the egg or the chicken, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
man literally made, you know, like the written scripture, right? So did that come first, or did the religion come first?
Okay. I think in the Old Testament, like coming from a Christian point of view, the Old Testament it kind of had to be like that because there was no after Adam and Eve sinned, right? There was no commune between you and God unless there was like a mediator, right? But once Jesus came and he got crucified on the cross, that made a way for us to go to God directly. You don't have to go to a priest to call him Father or go to with all due respect to Catholics, because I got family grew up Catholic and everything that too. But you don't have to go do your incense and pray to the saints and all that. You go directly to God because that's what he came and he died for. But I so we can have connection with him again. So back to that question, but before the Old Testament, it was more of a religious thing. So they had I gotta do this, do this, do this. Like on the Passover, they had to take the thing to the temple and all that. So it's kind of like I think God had that implemented at the time because there was no mediator between us and God besides doing these. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You kind of get what I'm saying a little bit.
I think God gave us
Lost my train of thought.
capability to
Say that again.
go deep down in the rabbit hole. He gave us the consciousness to make our own decisions and make our own pathways.
Yeah.
And it's all up to make
I heard.
Sense of that pathway, and whether you want to attach it to something spiritual or not. At the end of the day, we did come from something, so you got to believe that.
Right. Okay, so that's a good question too. So it goes back to, well, where do we come from? Why are we the way we are as human beings? Why do we all long for something? Why do we all want something? Why do we all always feel empty, no matter what we continue every day, every hour, every month to try to fulfill that emptiness, whether it even be a spouse, a relationship, a business.
It's
We
the
all
lack
long for
of
something.
being
What
grateful, because when you wake up grateful every day for what you have in the physical realm, why would you?
But not even feeling grateful, because you can feel grateful and joyful too. But there's just something that's really deep in us that when we lay down at night, even if we have everything and we're grateful, but there's just something
we don't
in us
belong,
that's
bro. We're
longing
just
for
like
something. No, right. No, and that's true. But that goes back to like, say, the Bible, like we're just passing through, like we are spiritual. We are spiritual beings, and we're gonna go somewhere. Yeah. This body, and that's why like this body's dying every day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're all dying every day.
We're just passing through.
Yeah. You good?
This avatar.
We are though. See, we're good. Yeah, Avatar. I know we're shit. No, we're in the Matrix.
Exactly. We're just avatars.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a car. You know what I mean? It's just like the outside body of something.
Okay, I got one thing to say. If I could tell you guys. So when I was like 8 years old, right? I had a tumor in my leg, and it ate half of my bone. They had X-rays and stuff, and I grew up in Stockton, so we had to go to UC Davis in Sacramento. Well, I grew up in a Christian household too, right? But they prayed in that name, in Jesus' name, And now that I'm okay, and the Bible says lay hands on the sick, in Mark chapter 16, I think it is. Lay hands on the sick. Basically, ask anything in my name, I give it to you. Not that he'll always do it, but anyways, my parents prayed in that name over my leg, right? So a couple of weeks went by. We went back to UC Davis. Well, the doctor came in scratching his head, and the tumor was gone, and my bone was healed all the way back, like to normal. And as a little kid, you don't think of stuff like that. You're just like, oh, okay, like whatever, or what? How did that happen? Where? But as you get older, and I got older, and from my experience, I experienced God. It's like, man, like they prayed in that name over my leg. It's like what healed me. If they prayed in that name over my leg, what healed me? And I believe in God, so it's like it had to be Him. But like, I don't know that, but that's from my personal experience. You know what I mean? So that's another reason why I believe in God, from my personal experience. For me, from that, and for me actually being in a real how to say, like a good church, with good people, and being in that atmosphere of God, and you feel
it's a good
feel
church
God's
is
presence,
the people behind it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the group of people, huh? Because the church is just the building with four walls. Like just like you said too, people are the one that drives the religion.
Yeah.
It's the people, That's true too. Yeah.
No,
I don't know where I went with that, but I just had to tell you guys. But that's another reason why I believe, like okay, like the Jehovah Witnesses, like they don't. The only thing that's different from them from Christianity is they don't believe Jesus was God in the flesh. They see a lot of religious, not to go on that level, but a lot of religious, they always. It's like, okay, if Jesus is not real and the Bible is not real, why is it the most like hatest book in the world? Like, or people would be like, oh, it's a fairy tale book. Well, if it's just a fairy tale book, why does it offend so many different people? Or like, why is it so hated? If it's just a book, it's just a crazy belief. Why do people hate it so much? Like they don't like Christianity is one of the. I mean, it is because the American church is so watered down. Like the people that just say little prayer and I'm saved type of thing.
That's
No, right. But no. Yeah, back in the day, those but see, a lot of that came from the Catholic Church during that century, right? So it's like, yeah, so but no, it's not so much that. It's just if it's such a hated book and people it offends so many different people. If it's not real and this God ain't real, it's like why should it bother
Because
people? People should just live their
it's
life
so
and
like
like
structural in a way that it's not supposed to be. I think it's more metaphorical than straight up than literal. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think it's a literal book. I think it's a book full of metaphors and understandings of have you heard of the Kabbalah? Kind of like the Kabbalah, like a set of rules. Yeah.
I've
So
heard of something like that. Huh. Okay, okay, well, like the Quran, how come the Quran as strict as they are, and how they're like neck and neck almost with like Christianity to a sense, right? Because they believe in Jesus too, they just don't believe he was God in the flesh, right? So how come people don't put down Muslims so much as they do Christians? Because they believe in a lot of the same thing, like, and we can go on all these different subjects, but they kind of have a lot of the same belief systems to certain extents too. But it's not it's not hated on so
we're
much.
just
It's more
wrong
like,
side
oh,
of
a
the
Muslim or
world. You
Christians, a
feel me? I don't
Muslims
think
like,
we
okay, huh?
hear it as much as we do here in the United States. Is what it is.
Yeah, that could be true too. Like that's true. Growing up in California, especially,
We're
or growing up in America, where
fucking
man, our
state.
society, we're
There's
all so
missions
watered
all
down.
coming to California, so of course it's going to be embedded. Of course, of
Yeah.
course.
You know what? Rest assured that just how we got brainwashed to think a certain way, other cultures got brainwashed just the same with whatever they believe. You know what I mean, so I'm sure just how we're asking questions, I'm sure on the other side of the world, others are asking questions about their
Oh
beliefs
yeah,
because there's not a one
yeah, that's true.
answer cures all thing. And I understand, a lot of people are, and I don't want to say like this, but I guess just for the purpose of this argument or just this topic, a lot of people are buying into
That's
the
good.
Jesus claim because there was a lot of money poured into the belief. And just like with entertainment, with music, right? With music, artists and whatnot. An artist does not like go big without advertisement, without the
Right.
marketing. So
Right.
that's what is so
From the
hard
big
that
companies.
it was not this belief in the Christianity. It didn't go big by just in a natural way. It was funded. It was a lot of people poured time to go and sell here, sell
The
there, to sell this. It's basically a book they were selling.
top selling book.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's still in rotation because it was marketed precisely.
Mhm. Right. Okay, that's a good point. That's true, and you're right because they say it's fun. They're right, just like I'm on you. I got you. I respect that, but okay, so there comes a line. Okay, is it? We live in the culture right now where it's kind of like everybody. Okay, Let's just say at first, yeah, back when in the 1800s, okay, they were pushing it hard when like we first discovered America. Well, they didn't discover, but you know what I'm saying. All that stuff, right? Okay, during that time, or even up to like, right? But now we're living a generation where it's kind of like everybody believes. Oh, so why? Oh, see, I lost my train of thought already. It's not
Well,
so
we were
why. It's
talking
damn, I
about
can't
the
think now.
Bible.
It's not. It's kind of like it's not. Not that it ain't fun like that no more, but it's kind of like it's not on that level no more where it's like super shoved in your face like it was. It's like people are choosing to believe if they want to believe it, and like
Yeah,
everybody's choosing to do what they want. Everybody can do whatever. Like everybody
but
believes
it just
every
so
different
happens
thing,
that
right?
now it
So
caught on so much traction that it's just it's mainstream. I would put it that way. It's mainstream. That's why it's not pushed so much in people's faces. But missionaries, that's another story. They do push it onto other people. They actually got killed because they go
okay,
into
I see what
islands
you're saying.
and they know, the
Yeah,
islanders know that it's happened before because word spreads. You know what I mean? So you know
I
what I
heard you
mean?
saying. Right, and
What
right.
event?
I got you.
What
And
events that?
on the logical way of thinking about it, right? Like you're right. Logical way of thinking about it, right? That's true. So then, right. So then it all gets to a point where there's a line that it's like the spiritual part about it, with all the other stuff, or the logical way. So it's just a balance, man. But like you said, there's always
It
questions.
is,
We all
bro,
have questions. Like
and
it's
there's no
just crazy
answer for that, bro. It's
because
just speculation. And even if there was an answer,
yeah,
do you think the Vatican is going to say anything in regards to what the reality is? Do you think people that are top of the line of catering to this religion as Christianity, do you think they're going to speak up and say, oh, you know what,
right.
this has all been a scam? If it is, if in turn it
I hear
is
what
a
you're saying.
scam, you know what
See,
I mean?
okay, I hear what you're saying. But see, I'm not saying everybody either. Like, we already got it already. See, a lot of people think the Catholic Church is the headstone for all Christianity. Like Catholic, and on the world stage, yeah, you're right. On the world stage, it is that, like, that. Oh, Christianity. Oh, who do we
The
think about?
murder.
The Catholic Church, the Pope. You know what I mean? But yeah, right. Catholic Church, a lot of stuff, right? You know, we already know how they are. Not all. I'm not knocking the Catholic religion because, like I said, my grandma's Catholic, my cousin's Catholic. I don't like it. There's a lot of good in the Catholic Church, but there is some negative too, right? Just like everything. So I'm in, you know. But what I'm saying is the Catholic Church isn't the headstone of all Christianity. You know, Christianity, you have like, I don't even know. Okay, like I grew up Pentecostal, so it's like we believe, you know, in Jesus' name, and you know, lay hands on the sick and you shall recover, and all that stuff, all that good stuff, right? But because the Catholic Church isn't like the head of it all, you know. I don't know where I'm going with that either. I'm
I
just
got you,
tired,
bro.
bro. I had
Now,
a
one
long
last
day.
thing, bro. 'Cause
I had a long day.
I know you religion. I can see, bro. I can see that religion does something good for you, and that's good,
That is
bro. That's good. That it changed you from being a way that you don't want to be to a way that you want to become, right? Which we all should be seeking, right?
Right.
But now let me ask you this: if you were a salesperson and you needed to sell this idea of Jesus, what would be the best thing that you would say to sell this to someone?
I see where you're coming from, but I really wouldn't sell it to them. It's just like going back, combining both the logical and the spiritual sense in my experience, because you can't on the religious stage of the Catholic Church and that, like, that type of thought process, you kind of do have to kind of set, like, because it's a logical way of thinking, but like the Christianity on, like you said, the other way, not the Catholic Church but the other Christianity, right? It's not that it's the same thing. It's like it's an experience you have. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like you don't have. It's like if you experience something good, you don't have to really sell it to somebody. You're just you're living it out and you're walking in it. You don't have to like preach God down somebody's throat to get them to believe what you believe. You be the light. You walk it out. And if it's like, okay, well, it works for me. It's like, well, why don't you try it? Maybe it might work for you too. And if it doesn't, then that's between you. But everybody that I've seen come to God and experience the experience I'm talking about, they leave different. They had this different experience, and it's like it just changes them, bro. Even if months go down the line, they might fall because none of us are perfect. We all sin and we all mess up, but it's just a life changing experience, bro. And the only reason it's hard for me to say a lot of things because, like I said, right now I'm not on my greatest path. If you want to I'm not on there because I'm still dealing with certain things, whatever. But you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, man. But I get what you're saying. The logical thing about people like trying to sell God to you and preach this is the way. And
I
yeah, I get what you're
feel you,
saying.
bro. Because we're all work in progress.
I mean, but right, like Muslims, not Muslims, Buddhists too. They have a lot of good points too, like you said. Can't knock it all the way. It's like they just are, or not Buddhist monks. They just live it. They just do it. They don't try to force their stuff down here. They're up there in the mountains, or they just walk, and they're very peaceful people.
no. I don't think God judge
All right,
us
man.
for
I
the
don't want to
religion.
I keep stumbling my words because I'm tired.
I don't think God will ever judge us.
I'm
I
sorry. Go
think
ahead.
that He's he, she, it, they, whatever this
Right.
energy is composed of, he'll judge us for the religion we choose to go on our highest road. It's whatever we feel, and we can like align. So, like I keep saying, the most godly thing to do is not judge others and respect and live in love and light and give power to those who are doing good. And if they are, you know, definitely like Christianity doesn't come from a good place, but also look at all the good that it has done. And I can't sit here and say it hasn't done good, because I know a lot of putting people on this chat right now who are of, they are Christian or Catholic, and they're doing some great work out here, and they're living, in their high. I can never say that's wrong. I can never judge them for being of that religion. I respect, and respect is a godly thing. So keep on that.
Right.
And
Right.
religion, remember, is just something that we made up for it to make sense for whatever. It's indoctrination, bro. We're all indoctrinated and inherited, and through generations we've changed that up. Obviously, we've excluded the facts that there was a lot of murder through Christianity. And so, but again, it's a hard one, because has happened through it. Unfortunately, and fortunately, it's just the way it is. But let's just keep remembering. It don't matter what religion you pick up. It's just about being positive and showing love and respecting one another. But with that being said, y'all, I do gotta go to sleep. I gotta work.
It's good. I respect you. I respect it. Hey, this is good. Agree to disagree. I got you. I respect it. Like, I respect it. Like, like, why try to force, like you said from the very beginning, bro, like, just to have an open box and talk, you know what I mean? And that's cool, because of course I believe different than that, but I'm not, I'm nobody to tell you what to believe, what not to do. But I know you got to go to work,
Hey,
so it was nice talking to you. So.
thank you for stopping by, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, my bad
It's
too,
all
bro.
good,
Sorry,
bro.
man.
It's
Thank
all
you, man.
good. We
Appreciate
do
being
what we
patient with me,
can,
bro.
man. We do what we can. I know it's an interesting topic, and it's like I've joined lives too where I'm all messed up, like I'm all tired. You know what I mean? It's like late in the day, and like people talking about some interesting stuff, so I join in, and I'm like forgetting my points and stuff. I get it, bro. I get it.
Yeah, it's good. I got you. I'm
All
gonna
right.
follow you, bro, because
Hey,
later
every
on, hey,
Thursday, brother.
you might be talking
Every
about some
Thursday
good
I
stuff,
go
man.
live with
Oh,
some
every
new topic, man.
Thursday?
Join in, man.
Okay. I'm going to the air first, but
That's
I'll
what's
still
up.
follow you, bro.
All right.
All right, man.
All right.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right. So we got a little more time for someone. If you know who I want to see on here, I want to see Yvette, and I want to see Las Semillas del Sur. Brother, you want to come on, man? I'm gonna send you the invite, man. Yvette, is it okay if I send you the invite? That cool? Let's see. Let me send this. Send it to. Hey Rosa, what's up? I'll send you the invite. All right. All right. Well, you know what? This has been a good plática so far.
Hello.
What's up, Yvette? ¿Cómo estás?
Um,
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. I have to be a little bit quiet because let me just go outside real quick because I'm in bed.
Rosa,
Hi.
how you doing? How's everything?
Good. I'm here.
That's what's up. I don't know how much you caught of this conversation.
I
Yeah,
just joined. I just joined real late right now.
yeah. We're discussing religion. My religion is better than your religion, or the lack of religion. So basically, like talking about yeah.
Uh-huh.
So now the question is that I wanted to ask you guys. Why is religion necessary?
Well, in my point of view, I think it's necessary because we have to learn like a lot of stuff in the Bible that a lot of people seem that they know everything, and they think that by not going to church they know a lot about God, or by reading the Bible they misunderstand what the Bible has to say, and they misinterpret a lot of stuff that in the Bible talks about a lot of like things that people don't understand that's going to happen in the world that has been going on, and that's the people needs to know that the reality of life, the reality that we're going to go through in life, because that's what the Bible is talking about, how we're going to live, how we're going through a lot of stuff in life and how we have to live through it. But a lot of people don't realize that that we're going through it, and they have to understand that point of view, that just by reading the Bible is not, it's, I'm just going to read the Bible because, you know, I want to learn and know about God. But you need to learn that in the Bible, it tells you what is going to happen, like in a day basis, how you're living, what you're going through in life. You know what I mean? It tells you all that.
Hermano, I'm gonna have to keep my camera off. I hope that's
Oh,
okay.
it's okay. Nah, it's okay. Fine, yeah.
I'm
You're talking about the guidance, right, Rosa? Como like the stuff that you learn from the stories, right?
Well, yeah, basically it's like, okay, like there's things in the Bible that I've been reading that says, you know how the COVID thing is going on. The Bible said something about that we were gonna go through a virus and that it was gonna come hard and a lot of people were gonna die and a lot of people were gonna get sick and we were gonna go through all that stuff. And then it talks about like que, you know, que the world, que íbamos a tener muchas lluvias, and otro dice que mucho snow. ¿Cuándo has visto snow? ¿En cuántos años has visto esto de que has vivido? And how long in your life have you seen snow? We never had that many snow in California. Tell me, have you seen that? I've never seen that. All the years that I've been living here, I've never seen something like that. So a lot of things are coming that we're not realizing that they're coming to us, that they're happening. And people say that it's not true. But we're in a drought. When did they say that we're going to be in a drought? We're going through a lot of things in life that people think that, or you know how they're saying that we're running out of food, or we're running out of toilet paper, we're running out of all this stuff. Right now we don't have Tylenol. We're running out of Tylenol for babies. We're running out of a lot of medications. Where does it say that? Tell me. And in the Bible it says all that we're gonna run out of stuff, that we're not gonna have a lot of stuff. Yeah.
What do you
okay.
think, Yvette?
Brother, what was your question again?
Okay,
Well, first of all,
why is religion necessary?
I hear echo. Is that only me or
What is it?
there's echo?
No, I've been hearing people say that throughout the life, que se viene, se va, the echo, but I don't know. Let me move it a little bit because I'm near the thing where it's connected. Do you hear the echo still?
A
A
little,
little
but
bit.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna, I hope it does. I'm sorry, like my mind is a little bit, I struggle with my focus, so I'm gonna do my best. um, so your question is, why is religion necessary? Okay. Um, First of all, let me clarify. I want to make sure that I express that this is how I understand, and you know, this is my opinion, my experience. I will respect everyone's views and you know their religion, their connection with Creator God, or you know anything that they believe, any religion or lack thereof. So this is just me. And I personally don't believe religion is necessary. I think it's faith. I think that's the thing that kind of keeps people going, you know, having faith, trust that there's something higher and something greater, because it kind of keeps you grounded, you know, it kind of keeps you humble. The idea that there's something greater than yourself. But I don't think it's necessarily religion, because we don't need religion. We just need that faith.
Now,
Yeah.
I think it's far-fetched to say that faith is an extension of religion.
Not necessarily. I think religion is an extension of faith. Because as human beings, we do have that need to feel like you belong to something or a group. And that doesn't only. I'm so sorry, sister. Do you mind like muting your microphone for a little bit?
Yeah. Give me a minute.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm just I'm epileptic and my brain's a little bit foggy and it's so hard for me like to focus. I apologize. I don't mean to be rude. Um, Yeah, it's just that I think it's faith. It kind of, there's even quotes that we have, and we say things like, um, it, faith moves mountains, and like when you believe in something, it just kind of gives you hope. It keeps you going. So if there's a connection, I think religion is an extension of faith on how people understand this life, and their purpose, their hopes, and even the moral values. Because if you don't have that faith, if you don't have like that grounding, uh, how can you think of good versus evil, or you know uh, good and bad, or even that your actions have some sort of consequence? So I think it's just part of human nature that we have that grounding. I think, but I think the root is faith.
Let me ask this, because this is kind of playing devil's advocate, based on your stance on this argument, ¿verdad? On this plática, on this topic. Now, you believe que it's not necessary for religion, ¿verdad?
Mhm.
So now, there's been many observed apariencias, right? That many, like, santos, or entities, right? Or I guess you could call them deities or whatnot.
Mhm.
Que muchos aparecieron, like they appeared to not just a couple people, like we're talking about, more than a handful of people, like dozens of people. Um, how would that go with the argument of saying basically that religion is man-made, when there's obviously something more than just man-made that appeared to people, unless it was like a collaboration, como le llaman, it's some kind of a trance that people, this is a name for it, supposedly, that people go into this trance and they hallucinate as a collective. What do you think about that?
um that I hope that I can try to do this like the most simple way, because this is such a deep subject. Um, but before we even have these interpretations, because religion to me is your interpretation of a spiritual experience, a spiritual connection. And those experiences and those interpretations are going to vary according to the geography, to the land that you come from. That's why when we speak about sacred medicines, right? And I know people might disagree with this, and they're gonna think like, oh, they're drugs, because including the government says that our sacred medicines, they're drugs. But you will not find these things everywhere in the world. There's very unique circumstances and natural phenomena that has to happen for these things to happen. So I don't think it's necessarily religious. I think it's a natural phenomenon that people are observing. And I think it's true. It's just that as human beings, we have to make sense of it, rationalize it. And with that said, also, once you are taught to look at things through one lens, your interpretation of those things is gonna change. So maybe for people thousands of years ago, they were looking maybe at an eclipse, and they called it something else. And today our interpretation is that we're looking at something different. But I think those things are natural phenomena, and we just make sense of them through whatever interpretation of spirituality or religion you have.
Now, paintings. There's different paintings that were made, uh, religious paintings, that depicts even UFOs and things of that sort, ¿verdad?
Mhm.
What do you make of that in terms of like religion and the belief of a religion?
The belief of religion, and what was the other thing?
Uh, just basically the belief of a religion, or the belief of something supernatural within the realm of religion that was depicted on like, paintings, famous paintings, like the, ¿cómo se llama? The Michelangelo, no, not the Michelangelo, like the Da Vinci's and things like that, that they portrayed religious images with a little sprinkle of like UFO and supernatural things happening around those paintings.
Well, I do believe those things happen. I do believe that there's something, not necessarily supernatural, but something spiritual. Um, and I don't believe necessarily that they were UFOs, but that's the interpretation people have, right? Um, and the thing is that we have been so indoctrinated to look at everything through that Catholic or Christian lens, or through that religious lens, that if you try to dismantle that, like there's no way that you can make sense of it. Um, but again, to me, I do believe that there's just quote unquote supernatural things. And a lot of people that take these sacred medicines, again, that's what they experience, that's what they describe. Like a lot of these experiences that when people come out of that journey from taking some sort of sacred medicine, they experience a lot of the things that we hear in these type of stories from the Bible. I remember reading long time ago that Christianity started as a cult to mushrooms. And if you talk to people that have prayed with these sacred medicines, what they share, what they describe, it's a lot of these type of stories that we hear through religion. And we need to really keep in mind that these elements, like these things, come from the land, and they're there for a purpose. There is a connection, but again, it's so hard to dismantle this ways of thinking today because we are like so far gone. We've been, I mean, at least here in the Americas, in the continent, we've had this way of thinking forced onto us for 500 years, where there's no room to question because, like I said in the comments, 1492, the Pope uh, wrote a document that we know as the Doctrine of Discovery, and that gave the Europeans basically the right to take over the land because we were heathens. To them, we were enemies of Christ, and we've been redeemed to perpetual slavery. So it wasn't that even the room for us to think or to come up with our own conclusions. It was forced onto us.
Yeah, so that's the thing though. Like, for what reason would a group of people based off of scriptures that weren't really able to pinpoint where they came from, because there were different books within the scripture of the Bible, right? There were different stories, and for a long time they weren't able to piece it together like the way that we have it today, what we refer as the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Who and why did they piece it together in such a way that it would read like a complete story? And for what reason weren't they just leaving the people that were living a certain way with their beliefs? Why weren't they just leaving them alone and just like letting them be? Why indoctrinate people? What's the point of it? What do you guys think?
I'll let someone else go because I feel like I'm speaking too much. I'll let someone else and I'll go last.
I think that they don't have like, everybody has two different views of it, and they still haven't clarified which one is the number one to go, because I feel like a lot of people like come through my door and knock, and they're at Testigos de Jehová, and they try to explain it one way, and then I'm like, but it says this way, and it says no, but this is the correct one. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what is happening, but we need to get this clear and have it clear, because we don't know what we're believing. We only know that we believe in a God. That's it. But we need to have more clarification on the Bible, because a lot of people, they don't know what's happening and what's gonna happen, and everybody's in their own.
Think, bro, man. What are your thoughts on this, man?
What was the question?
That why do you think that indoctrination had to happen? I mean, what was their point to doing that? Why that religion? Is it because of the rules you have to follow, you have to, and just do what you're told, or what do you think, bro?
Man, as I get older, bro, I start to like kind of understand the importance of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I really think that like just as far as like me, like how I look at it now is like for building power. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it like as the head of state and something like that. And like she was saying earlier, it's like it gives you like more of a drive and more of a hope. You know what I'm saying? So like, for example, sorry, I'm out of breath because I was just running inside and shit. Like you know, I always talk to you about how, like, I'm super inspired by like Muslims, right? Without even knowing. Like I'm inspired by them as people, and I come to find out how many of them are Muslims. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I'm like, is it something about the religion or something like that? But to me, that specifically is like it's something with the discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the fucking fighters, like in the UFC right now, Muhammad Ali, fucking a lot of great people I respect. They're all Muslim. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's something in the discipline and like them having to like commit to doing, you know, praying 5 times a day and like, you know, always having observance or something. And even if they want to drink or do shit like that, they're not, you know, they're not going to do it because, you know, and for certain things like that, like I really don't think, I mean, it could be indoctrination, but when it's for the good and health of your people, like it's kind of hard to call it, right? It's like you don't want to impose on shit. But when I see that, I'm like, I feel like we kind of need that, right? If we could also teach our people how to eat, you know what I mean? And we could also teach our people the discipline and shit like that instead of being like, oh, I can't do that. Like a Muslim will never be like, I can't pray 5 times today. They has to be done no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like, I think that there's a lot of power in religion. You know, as I get older, I'm starting to like kind of recognize it, which is, again, why I'm like, sorry, bro, I was like running upstairs and shit. But that's why like I'm like, you know, on the same board of like, okay, I want to try to figure out, you know, our roots and the shit that we come from, you know what I mean, before colonization, because I believe that's going to be our power. Because, you know, I'm not one to just like, you know, start following something else, but like I take the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And I really think that like the Muslims are doing something right. You know what I'm saying? As far as like how they teach their people, you know what I mean, the strength and like, you know, just, you know what I mean, just having the self-respect and shit like that is what I see more than any other, you know, group of people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with I agree with a lot of that. And look, when you know that I'm chronically ill, I've been close to dying 6 times. I've gone through over 30 medical procedures, and at one point I had to hold on to my faith to keep going. Um, but I did question a lot of things, you know, like we have been taught that there's a God of reward and punishment. And to me, that doesn't make sense because I thought that we were created to have free will. So if you have free will, how can you have this sort of like punishment and reward? Not just that, we keep hearing in every, I think in every single religion, that God is a God of love. So why God punishes people that were created from a place of love? And if you're created from love and you have free will, then God, I don't believe God. Well, I don't like to use the word God. I believe in a source of creation. I don't think God is a person. I don't think it's a human. I don't think it's a he or she. I think it's a sort of energy that allow life to be created. Um, so yeah, I don't believe that there's like punishment or reward or that you have to suffer to learn. We make choices and those have consequences. But I do think religion has been exactly what the brother said, for power. And let's just keep in mind, before the foreigners came to these lands, they burned their women alive because they thought they were witches. A lot of these connections that we see through ancient civilizations, they had to do with natural law, with respecting life and the environment that people were created. We are a reflection of the land that we come from. So even when people say like, oh, we don't have to burn incense or sage or that this is witchcraft, like, no, we're not idolizing these things. We're not creating like all these gods. It's just that we understand they have a spirit like we do. They have energy like we do. And because as indigenous people, I do not see myself as something outside like nature. I don't see the tree as something as an object. I don't see the animals as an object. We are one with the land. We are one with the animals, with everything that has life because they have a spirit. So mm, I think that is common through ancient civilizations and a lot of the religions. It's just that, there are different interpretations based on the geography that the people, the land where they come from. So we're going to see variations, we're going to see differences. But again, the Europeans did this to their people, to their own people before they brought it here. They used religion as a way of destruction and genocide, massacres. And it's not religion itself that did that, it's the people. But at the end of the day, I think religion, it's like different paths to the same creator, to the same God, just different interpretations. But it's been exploited for power, 100%.
Yo,
One
can
thing
I
that I
just
want
say
to share with
shit?
you guys.
What's up with this
Oh, okay,
clown
go
over
ahead.
here that's saying all this funny stuff? Say he wants to come on the live, man. I meant to talk to him, talking about colonization, the best thing that ever happened, and all this bullshit. But can I just speak up? And like that's a point to her. Like that's why also like I feel that inside of me. You know what I mean? I always felt that, and that's why I really don't like the monotheistic religions. You know what I mean? Like even though like I said lately, I've been kind of it's getting interesting to me. Like not that I follow it, but just like like looking, it's just so fucking crazy. You know what I mean? But I hate how they position humans as like she said, like above or better. You know what I mean? Or like place here with dominion over the rest of the earth. And you know what I mean? I never really saw that. So like she says, like what I'm learning is like, our people didn't really believe, in entities or God the way that, they fucking paint them in like, European and other, even, I don't know actually, but Europeans and other religions and shit like that. Like for us, it's that represented either energy or elements, things like that, you know what I'm saying? So it just makes a lot more sense. But like you trying to build a nation and like trying to get power and shit like that. Like I said, I think developing certain rules and okay, our people should be like this, shouldn't be like this, should do, you know what I mean, with a final plan in mind of being like we want to get our people strong and healthy to do this and stuff like that. I really think that that's something positive, you know what I mean? But like the other thing that she mentioned, like about religion saying you have to suffer and stuff like that. Like the nation, that's what they tell people. Like they should believe the white man lie that you gotta wait to get your piece of heaven until you die while they're getting their heaven on earth. You know what I'm saying? That's the lies that Christianity will sell you. Turn the other cheek and you just be living here like living in misery with the hope that it's okay, you suffer here because you're gonna get all your heavens in the next life and shit while they're living in heaven here. So that's all about the bullshit, the control and stuff like that. But again, I really do think that there's certain things that it would be beneficial for our people to like really like be disciplined in a certain way, like follow something rather than just be I just do what I want, living for ourselves and being shameless and shit like that, because I really see our society, even our people, everybody just going through shit because it's not a moral compass. And again, this is coming from somebody that I grew up in punk rock and shit like that. Like I was never, I still wear backpacks that says like no gods, no managers and shit. So I'm not gonna say that, but seeing where shit is going, I really think that we kind of need a little moral compass to kind of, it's not like, oh well, I see, it's not for our interpretation. We should say, okay, no, for the better of the people, this is what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is falling behind that beneficial, for us in the long run. But yeah, that's it.
I get you, bro. And now to play devil's advocate, look, because I love doing that, and I know it touches on people to think further, right? Watch. So in the eyes of the colonizers, they believed they were doing a good thing when they came about and they started brainwashing us, and if we were not conforming, then they were killing us, right? So in their eyes, they were doing good. In their eyes, they were cleaning up society. They were cleaning up wherever they were, stepping foot on, right? Now, with that said, if someone is religious, just like the Bible or the religious scripture says, that if you don't, I guess, convert or try to give the word to people and try to like bring people to the kingdom, then the more the better, right? That's really the belief, like, and that's why there's people going door to door as Jehovah Witnesses, because they're trying to bring people to the kingdom, right? And that's exactly what the colonizers did. They were trying to bring people to this religion, to this kingdom, right? And what is your thoughts on that now? Now that it's kind of flipped around, you know what I mean?
Okay, if I may go first on that, I would believe that, bro, if it was true. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't true, bro. I believe that's a lie they made it late in order to justify the bullshit. Because if it was true and they were following the words of Christ in Christianity, then they wouldn't have been violent in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, if they would have, supposedly, you know what I mean? There's like chapters of the Bible that they took out. All the chapters that talk about rebelling against your slave master and shit like that, they deliberately took them out to give to the slaves a different Bible that tells them against to just turn the other cheek and be submissive and shit. So again, it was used as a tactic of control. If it was really in the best intention, like really trying to bring this, I think it would have been done differently. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way they accidentally went from, oh, we're going to bring you the words of this man that talked about, peace and forgiveness while fucking killing and enslaving. It just doesn't add up to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's, you know what I mean? Like, there's people like Buddhists, you know what I mean? They spread their shit peacefully, you know what I mean? Like, Buddhists are pretty peaceful people, and they spread their shit pretty, like, there's not really instances, like, even Hindus and stuff got blood in their hands, but that I know of, like, Buddhists don't really, do that. So I think there's a way, if you're really trying to spread, faith for the good shit, like, it wouldn't have gone down the way it did. You know what I mean? Right? That's how I feel.
I feel that, bro. I feel that, but I'm saying, like, in the eyes of them, like, we're such a totally day and night compared to the colonizers, what they wore and all this and that. To them, we were savages, really, because that's just, we were living free, which they did not know what that was.
So
In their minds, they were already brainwashed before they came.
And well, okay, but let me speak from the perspective of Mexico, because I'm not sure how it was when they got here. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was, a little bit more primitive. But you're not going to tell me about that when they arrive at the Tenochtitlan, a city more fucking organized, more beautiful, more better than theirs, more civilized. So it wasn't like, oh, we got to bring these people up to par. Maybe I believe in a certain, like tribes out in the outskirts, the fucking Dakotas or whatever, where they really weren't connected. But you're not going to tell me when they got to the South Americas, to where the Incas, where Mexicas, where all these people already had beautiful established cities. You know what I mean? Like, again, it doesn't add up in that way. You know what I mean? But I understand what you're saying. Like, I know what you mean. You know what I mean? Like, what if they were really in the best intention? But I just don't think it would have gone down the way it did. You know what I mean? I really think it would have been a little bit more effort to really convert the people. Not get here and kill all the men and rape all the women and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's more savage on their end for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel it. Yvette, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I don't think that it was something like benevolent and like they were trying to do good. I really think it was a fight for power, because the colonizers fell in love with our land because of the resources, because they saw gold and they were like, oh, let's bring this back. Like, they left their wives, they left their families. Not just that, but these people were outcasted from their land. They came to the continent trying to find the new world and kind of establish that new world, because they were being prosecuted. Like, that was a whole fight for power. And how are you gonna take power over so many people if you don't instill fear into them? So I don't think it was that they were trying to do like good deeds from their heart and they were trying to save us. For one, like, let me tell you, when I go to, we have sacred ceremonies, right? We have ceremonies that are not even open to the public, because I mean, I can tell you that what we experience in these type of spaces, if one of those people came and saw what we see, like, they'll think it's some sort of witchcraft, that we're invoking the devil and spirits. But I think our connection with spirit is so strong, and we have tools to do these things. We have our medicines. That's why we sage. That's why we use cedar. That's why we use the things that the land gave us to establish that connection. But they don't understand that. They didn't even understand that from their own people. So this man that all the men that came to these lands were on a power trip. It wasn't about saving people. It was not about sharing their perception or their not even their religion. They were trying to take over the land and the resources, and they used religion to do that.
What are your thoughts, Rosa?
I think I agree with all of them. Yeah, because they were treated really bad. They were treated like slaves, and they just wanted to get freedom, have be back with their families, and you know, how I see it was bad. They just wanted to be free, like everybody. They didn't want to be tied to being slaves of all the soldiers all the out there.
I get it. Now, for example, like how we live now, it seems that it's coming around. It's been around because of religion. This like power, this power struggle. Now, would you say that if there were to be a new colonizer coming through, right, with a new religion, and they're trying to basically convert people into this new religion and trying to get people to step away from the religion that we have here in the Western society, right, as Jesus. Do you think people would die and just say, well, kill me because I'm not going to stop believing in my Jesus, right? You think that would happen? And if so, why didn't we still continue believing in what we believed in even after they try to like brainwash us?
Mm-hmm. All right, that's a good point. So, I mean, like, I think I think it depends on the faith. You know what I mean? And I don't want to speak as a whole, but you know what I mean. I don't. I think more groups more than others would die for theirs other than others. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of Americanized Catholics wouldn't allow Americanized Christians. I don't think, you know what I mean? I think America cares more about other shit than religion. But with us, man, I think that I think it's just the whole disconnection, bro. I don't think it was even we didn't choose to, bro. It's like they fucking burnt. Like, imagine they came and burned all the Bibles, and even if the people wanted to fucking practice, they did it from memory, and then they had to try to teach their kids, and then every generation forgets a little bit more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? And then with what they do have, they don't even know the language, how to read it again. They got to learn all that other shit. So it's not oh shit, because bro, I'm sure a lot of people did die for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Even today, like people, like I'm sure people not even dying, but people that won't assimilate. You know what I mean? Know that they got to live a harder life just because it's like, well, fuck it. Like like I said, I could easily, go to their schools, get one of their jobs and shit like that, and really they'd be like, oh, okay, it's just another Mexican instead of, an Indio or whatever they want to fucking call them as a, insult and shit. So, but now they're like, a lot of people are like, we're still just going to live our way, do what we do and shit like that because this is how we done it. You know what I mean? But with us, bro, I think that, you know what I mean? Like, at the time, it's like, I think the people were fucking fighting and dying for this shit. And as time went on, they just disconnected us from the shit completely to the point where, like, bro, like, we're out here, like, fighting to just learn that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying, like, at 30, like, really trying to, like, learn languages and do all this other shit, bro, because it's like, yeah, it's fucked up, bro. But imagine, like, it's not just from, like, okay, you can't read the Bible. It's like, we're going to destroy every Bible. All the Bible that you do find are in Hebrew, so you can't even read them. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it was a different thing that just coming and, being like, hey, believe in something different. And again, that's also why we have, like the Virgen de Guadalupe and all this other shit, because they are like, okay, we'll believe in something different, and then they hid it behind that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, we tried many ways to protect it. We tried many ways to preserve it. And like, it's still around today. Like she said, like we practice all this shit. Like I'm in the danza group. We still, every day I'm there 2 days a week and shit, practicing and just learning and shit, really immersing myself in this shit, which they try to kill, but we're here keeping it alive. So now, like, we still here, you know what I mean? To answer your question, like, they didn't kill shit. They tried, but they haven't really, they haven't really done that shit. Listen.
That's a good point right there. Yes, good point. But now, how immersed are we in keeping alive what we lost? Like, how immersed are we? Like, because we have scriptures for what we have now for the Bible and stuff like that. How much of our scriptures of before do we still have? Do we still practice? Because I mean, what scriptures is there? What really is there out there that we used to have? How we used to live? How we used to praise and stuff like that?
So if I may answer that, shameless plug. Like I just released my first podcast today, bro, and it's with a dude that they do like ancestral music. But next week I'm gonna release this one with like he's like this Capitan of dance that been around forever, and we get a little bit into that, bro. But really, like it's people like him that dedicate their whole life to studying the codex, right, or the codices or whatever they're called. And there's quite a few, bro. But again, just learning how to read that shit is like a life task. You know what I mean? But but again, there's not a lot of people doing the work. You know what I mean? And even if like, let's say I wanted to, it's like, bro, like you kind of, you know what I mean? You got to dedicate your life. You got to be like, you know, a professor or something so you can have that luxury, or you got to work and every day after work, you know, study and shit like that. Because like I said, it's not really accessible, but we do have some information on, you know, different type of shit, bro. But, you know, there's not like, to answer your question, there's not a lot of people doing the work. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of like real, like, you know what I mean? And people that have the knowledge, you see them out here trying to sell it. Right? You see people trying to teach you now what you see them in like fucking expensive ass price. I ask people for classes like, bro, they're like fucking trying to charge like $1,000 and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, that's a knowledge that if you got it, you should be giving it to your people. As soon as I get it, bro, I'm gonna be out here giving it. You know what I mean? There's people that teach and shit, but it is a lot of the human shit. You know what I mean? The greed and all that fucking bullshit that comes into play, bro. And they don't realize that it would be better for our people as a whole. You know what I mean? People are just too fucking greedy nowadays.
I agree with because you know if everybody would like you know get together and learn and know more, and like you said, like you know study and if somebody else out there knows what's going on, they should help out and say, look, this is how it is and this is how the scripture is going now. But nowadays it's like you know nobody wants anybody to know how, like I said, how everybody's gonna end, you know, how everybody's gonna be, how the world, because in the Bible it says it clearly, if you sit yourself down and you read a chapter by chapter until almost the end, it tells you right there. I don't know how much have you guys read, but it tells you how the world started and then how the world, it's a little ending little by little, how it will end and what things are going to show little by little and how we're going to live and things like that. You know, we just need to, like, you know, because I'm doing a Christian Bible study, so I'm kind of learning a little bit more and I want to learn more, you know what I mean? But I was in the Catholic first, but the reason that I switched was because the Christianity helped me a little bit more how to cooperate with myself, with my anxiety issues, with my depression issues, with all the stuff that I had. They were able to help me and help me control that, to stay away from medication and all that stuff, you know what I mean? And not only that, I just like the fact how they treated me more and how they were showing me how God loves me more. When I was in the Catholic, on the other hand, I was not shown as much and I was not treated as much, but I seen a lot of, oh, give money for here, money for there, money for here. No, I'm going to sell the Virgen products. I'm going to sell God's products. I'm going to do this for their living, to pay their bills, to pay this, to pay that. They rent their halls, they rent this. In Christianity, they don't do none of that. They do ask for a diezmo and stuff like that, but to help us grow and help us be like, get us more utilities that we need to learn more and you know, to face more stuff, like help us, like there's shelters for people that have like drug addictions and things like that. They help more on that. That's what I've been noticing, and I know.
I think that goes back to like it being the human nature thing, because
yeah,
you gotta always separate religion from human nature, spirituality from human nature, because yeah, it does good to certain people that actually follow it correctly, right? You know, people that actually, you know, it does things to people sometimes, right? It helps people, but like then you know the human behavior kicks in, which is, you know, greed and all these other elements, right? Pero I think what the homie was saying, he was talking about us reading in the scriptures of what we had before Christianity, before we were like brainwashed with this Christianity, right? Which was our indigenous, ancestors. What did they leave behind, if anything? And he was saying basically that that there was stuff that was left behind, but it's hard to decipher it. It's hard to find out what it is because it's in a language that rarely many people don't speak it, right, or know how to interpret it. Pero with this, yeah, go ahead.
I finish your thought because I have
No, I was
some.
gonna switch on another question real quick.
Oh, okay, let me answer this because I think this is really important. First of all, I want to address this comment by Lionel Santos 99. There is nothing to learn from the primitive Indios. They only killed each other, but you all choose to ignore that and recognize that. Okay. That is such a fucked up thing to say.
I
That
see you
it
don't even give him attention. That's what he wants. So
no,
we should just go on with the convo.
but
You fucking
we do
loser.
have to acknowledge this because people continue to bring this up every time that we talk about colonization. They try to justify the things that happened by saying like, oh, you guys were killing each other. And let me tell you, even with our people having conflict, the amount of bloodshed and violence that we saw with contact cannot even compare to what these people came to do to us and continue to do till this day. And I don't forget that we're still finding children's bodies under their freaking churches and temples. So who are the savages? Who are the primitive people? Come on, that is the most fucked up thing to say. Whoever thinks like that, let me tell you, oh my God, you have a lot to unlearn. Not learn, unlearn, because you're brainwashed completely. So now to answer the question, we do have the codices, we do have a lot of information, but one thing that will never change, never ever, is the cosmovision. And that cosmovision is shared through many tribes, nations, pueblos, because that's just the connection that we have with land, with life. It tells you it's natural law. And natural law cannot be disconnected from spirituality because that's who we are. Even if we go to try to understand this from a scientific point of view, we're frequency beings, we're energy beings, and everything that has life has a spirit. Everything that has life has energy. So how do we connect with those things? That's our prayer. That's our ceremony right there. So for anybody that really wants to understand how our ancestors understood life and that spirituality, go connect with your cosmovision. Start reading the creation stories of your people, because again, we have to personify these things, right? Because how can you think of the sun and its energy? How do you how do you pass that knowledge to other people if you don't give it like a persona, right? If you don't make it a character, because that's how we relate with one another. Once you can see another person and understand what they go through, it's when it hits you, right? It's when you understand, when you empathize with other people. For us, that's the same thing with the elements, with the energies. The sun has heat. That heat lives within ourselves. Same thing with the water, with the wind, with the land. These things make us who we are as human beings. We will not be able to have life if it wasn't for these elements. So we're not like, they're not gods, we honor them because they are part of us. They give us life. But if you really want to understand where you come from, your roots, and how we understand life, go look at the Cosmovision, read it, because everything's being exploited nowadays. I agree. But the ones that have been doing that for the longest, again, it's religion. Que no se les olvide el diezmo. That is almost like mandatory in church. Cristianos, Católicos, it doesn't matter. They require that you give some part of your money to them. They've been doing that for a long time.
And may I just add to that real quick? also, and nothing against, I mean, I could say a lot about the religion, but nothing against the religion itself. But as she was saying, yeah, the Catholics may sell this and that, but no, Christians, like, look at the super mega churches here in America. Christians definitely do a lot of extorting their people. Look at in Houston, the Joel Osteen Church, and like where I'm from, like they got super mega churches out here that are beautiful buildings. The pastors drive Ferraris, and as they should. They're hustling. If people are, they want to go give them the money, whatever. I support the hustle 100%. I'm just saying, let's not act like the Christians are not here extorting their own people as well, like crazy. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Yep.
go on with your question, brother.
Before we go further, is there one of you that would like to step into the comment section? Because I want to hear the point of view of the homie Rick. He goes by Oraware. He has a clothing brand, and he wants to jump on this real quick.
So what was the question? If one of us wants to jump off?
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump
Yeah.
off. Okay, I'm gonna jump off.
Oh,
Have a good night.
No noches.
Nice to meet you.
All right, Rick. I'm gonna send you the request, but I know you've been waiting, and gracias for your patience, man. Things get really interesting with these topics, bro. Yeah, but now with that said, now does religion make the person, or does the person make the religion? What do you guys think?
Yo, what up, G?
Do you want me to take this one first?
Rick, we're in the house, man. What's up, my man?
I'll let him go first.
What's up, Rick?
No,
What do you
I
think?
heard a lot what you had to say, bro, about a lot of things, and you're right about a lot of things, bro. But from my personal experiences is what I wanted to reflect on, and where I'm at with on how the colonizers came to this country, and because you see that flag behind me right there, bro. That one.
Yeah, what flag is that?
The other one right there. Yeah. That's American and Mexican descent, homie.
Okay.
And I love my raza, bro. And I did my research about my culture. I took Chicano studies at ELAC, MECHA. I took a bunch of courses because I wanted to learn where I came from. Yeah, I was born right here in the United States and stuff like that. But every time I went to Mexico, bro, oh man, I'm a pochito. I'm from this side, bro. And I had to putazos with my primos. I'm like, primos, I'm on vacation, primo. Like, what the fuck? Like, shit, like fucking. But but what I absorbed is the best from both worlds, bro. I come over here and I could excel and be what I want to be, and go over there and still be in touch with my roots and stuff like that. But what happened, bro, when this country was founded and the value of this country, there was a certain evil that was planted in men to just take over and own it, bro. So the 8 stars on the flag represent the 8 states that were once Mexico, now part of the United States. So, but between the war in Mexico and United States and the indigenous, dude, I love my Indian homies, bro. They're beautiful people. I love all my raza, bro. And I respect everybody's opinion on religion, and that's what makes this country good right now, bro. It's because everybody has the freedom to have their opinion, such as yourself and other people with energies and this and that, bro. Look at I've been in certain situations, bro, to where I had to change my life for the better. I had to love somebody, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had to even take a liking to somebody, because I wasn't always like that, bro. I would probably see you on the street or whatever. You look at me funny on me, hey, I'll probably get at you different than I would at right now, because of where I was at that time. Now, what did save my life, bro, is only my personal experience that I could reflect on. My family is Catholic, bro, and I would go, do this and that, bro. Kneel down and take the sermons, bro. Put the hash on my forehead, bro. Follow suit because of my family. That's where we were, bro. But hey, we were like, at the after party, homie. It's different, homie. You know what I'm saying? So what helped me in my life is when I wanted peace. I wanted to stay alive on the calle. So there was plenty of times when I was on the street, or when I was in certain situations, homie, that wasn't good for myself or for others, to where hey, bro, somebody could lose their life, you know, and I'm like, guys, there's real situations out there like that with the raza and being a certain way. You know, you don't have a moment to you know, clean the air of bad energy. You know, with it, I know no disrespect to people that clear the bad air of energy with sage and stuff like that, because that is real. You know, that stuff is a spiritual realm and stuff like that that defers certain negativity and stuff like that. So I know what's up with that area too. But what helped me in those situations to where, bro, I did have to go to my higher power. I did have to say, hey, God, hey, you know, dude, show me what's up. Dude, even though I came out probably crawling in certain situations sometimes to where, you know, sometimes I got fucked up, bro. You know, and I barely made it out alive. So there were certain things that helped me in my peace, bro. And you know, when you guys speak of Christianity, bro, and people extorting their own people and stuff like that, you know, that's why God sent his son Jesus. So whoever believe in him shall have everlasting life. You know what I'm saying? And you know, whoever believe in him, bro. But you know, you may be in a certain place to where in your religion or your beliefs, you know, I heard you guys talking about Muslims and the Christianity and stuff like that. Homie, one time I was in county jail, bro, and you know, damn, bro, I was gonna do a long time, homie, and I was probably gonna do like maybe 4 months. And there was this Muslim, he's like, nah, I'm Muslim, homie, you know, and I'm gonna share this with you because, you know, I want to share this with you, bots. But he was like, homie, you know, this and that, my God, Allah, this and that, and he was saying all kinds of stuff. I'm a killer, this and that, bro. Dude, I seen that shit. I've actually know some people, you know what I'm saying, that been forgiven, that have changed their life, that did get a second chance, bro. So, homie, when he was talking about his stuff, I was like, nah, homie, you know, you don't even got to think like that, dog. You know, you could be forgiven from that. There is a better life for you. There is this and that. So, that's why God sent his son so we could recorrect that, you know, so there could be, you know, yeah, go spread the gospel and stuff like that, but it got extorted. You're right, homie. You know, I don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people and a lot of positions in power that abuse their power. Don't get me right and always get exposed because that stuff doesn't fly. You know, if you're going to do things straight and stuff like that, you don't ever want to get spanked by God, bro. You know, whatever God you believe in, you know what I'm saying, and you think he's higher than you, hey, you don't want to fucking hit him to fucking spank your ass, bro, for whoever he is. You know what I'm saying? So when he does, he's gonna lay down. He's gonna lay down the nagada to where you know who is he? Who's your God? If that's your God, he's gonna give you a nagada, bro, to make sure that you know that he is your God. You know, and my God, I know he's a jealous God. So that's why God sent his son Jesus Christ. So you know, in certain predicaments that I was in. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have, bro, homie, I didn't have sage in my pocket, dog. You know, all I could call out is to the Heavenly Father, hey, get me out of this one. This food blasting at me, whatever. You could walk upon me. Hey, I'm gone right now. Hey, get me out of this one. I want to see tomorrow. Homie, there was a time where I was waking up in my life to where, oh shit, today's going to be my day. I lost 3 homies in the same year, 3 months apart. Homie, that was tough. Oh, I felt some type of way, dog. I wanted my shit. I wanted to get mine. I'm not perfect right now. I'm not perfect, bro. Not that, homie. But it says, come as you are. You know what I'm saying? And the guy just told me something. Certain members of my family told me I was going to be this, I was going to be that, and this and that. Homie, when I read the Bible, it told me I was more than a conqueror. I was above and not beneath. I was the head and the tail. I could be forgiven right there and then through the Son Jesus Christ and being covenant with the Heavenly Father. And I could trample on snakes and scorpions of this world. And I'm more than a conqueror, bro. And I can handle my shit and love on my homies and love on my rastas that are not even there, bro. That I even see that shit. You know, and uplift them. Make a homie, not break a homie. I know what it is to hurt people. I know what it is to see people hurt. I've been hurt. I don't want that for nobody, homie. Nobody. But, you know, when I hear all this, dog, when it gets twisted up, before Jesus got called to earth, from earth by the Father, you know, Elijah was taken just like that, and so was Jesus Christ. Boom, taken like that from earth, bro, just like that. Elijah was taken on a fiery chariot from earth, bro, from the Heavenly Father. That's what you want, homie. That's the grand prize right there in life, because there is a heaven and a hell. and there is another dimension in this world that before it happens in the physical, it happens in the spiritual first. So there is energy.
I'll say no. That's beautiful, bro, and shit. If I may cut in before I like lose my train of thought here and shit, because I kind of want to answer to some of these things, bro. But like that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. You know what I mean? That like power, that shit that you feel inside. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about. Religion that I think is very important, and you know that we could dissect. And I feel you, bro. Like I've been in the exact same position. Like I was in jail for a whole fucking year, man. I hit the prison for like 6 months out that year. My dad was like super Christian shit. Bro, that was like I had like the first 4 months, bro. I had the Bible hard, bro, just because again I was scared, bro. I was 18. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know, I read the Proverbs back and forth because that's really the only shit I liked. You know what I mean? I didn't really relate to the other shit. You know what I mean? But I know what you mean, bro. Where you just like, you know what I mean? You kind of need that as a like, you know, something to get you through or whatever. But I could tell you the other side too, where I went through a hard time like you're describing, and it pushed me even further away. You know what I mean, bro? And it pushed me to where this path that I'm on right now to really discover my truth and our people's reality, bro. Because like my dad, bro, he was Christian as fuck, right? Like he'd always be, you know, oh, mijo de la Biblia, oh, you know, he'd always be talking like, you know, about Christ and stuff like that. You know, he went to Christian church and stuff. And that's why, like I said, I got a little certain, you know, love and respect. And like I said, like even till today, like I'm telling you something about the Muslim faith calls me, which is weird. And like just to correct you right now, like the Muslims believe in Christ more, like just as much as the Christians, you know, just so you know that. But I can't really relate to that just because of not the original, you know what I mean? Because these are religions that come from the Middle East, right? These are religions that come from people that are dark skin, curly hair, not the way they paint them. But
yeah, my boy, but you were saying that when Christianity came to here, you know what I'm saying, that it was false and it was for a sense of power and a sense of position to extort people. You know what I'm saying? So it got twisted big time, homie, because when the two lands came, when everybody came across for America, bro, and to this stuff, bro, you best believe that evil was in it, evil was killing, evil was this. You know, I heard homegirl saying how disrespectful it was to say that some other dude was commenting on here that we used to kill each other. You're damn right, bro. We still do that shit. You know what I'm saying? We're tribal people. You know what I'm saying? We're raza, bro. We're tribal people. We got that shit in our blood, homie. If the guy is a certain thing, you know, and this and that, that's why clicas were foreign, bro. You know,
who are these people to play God and play out? If that's what they were doing,
ain't nobody supposed to be playing out God. Yeah. You know what, bro? I'm not after to conform you, bro. And to get your thinking a different way, bro. I'm saying about my experience and my stuff. So the thing on here is, who is your God and what are your beliefs? You know what I'm saying? I can relate to you. I can relate to you, bro. And that's what makes the country great, bro, is because you get to choose that. You know what I'm saying? What's up?
Real quick, Rick. I know some of the times the questions that we you know, because we are very ¿cómo se llama? Proud people. We are very invested in things. When we get invested, we get invested emotionally.
Yeah, when involved,
it sounds like we're against each other. Or it may be like we're pressing on each other. Like me, I was asking certain questions that may come across as like attacking you, right?
No, yeah, bro, and that's what makes it good, because we have the beauty of our opinions. You know, we have the beauty of that, and at the end of the day, we still get to love on each other. You know what I'm saying? We still get to, we're all. It's about unity,
bro. It's not even that. It's because we're very interested in this topic. You know what I mean? And very invested in this, because this is our way, bro. Our way is being tampered with. And this and that, it has been tampered with, and it feels like we're just living this questionable existence that we don't know.
And I'm not against homie's opinion for choosing the Muslim in the Muslim way. You know, hey, homie, well, you're saying I don't know about that's what I thought.
No, I'm just saying that's closely related to what you believe. You know, but I'm just like trying to relate. But listen, let me just finish telling you my point and how I feel, because like I said, maybe it's a difference of race and stuff like that. But to me, I think it's the worst sin of our people, bro. Like I said, that I know when our people think of Jesus Christ, we think of like light skin, long hair, blue eyed Christ most of the time. Most of the time when you close your eyes and you pray to him, you're praying to that, I believe, right? I know most of the people, when we go to the churches, that's what they see. I think it's a fucking crime, bro, that like I really believe that was the last image in my dad's mind when he passed, bro. Because when you're scared, you pray. You know what I mean? You visualize who you believe is your God or Christ. So I know that he was scared when he passed, bro. You know, he fucking died during Corona and shit like that. And I really fucking believe in my head that he was probably praying when he passed. And I really believe that if he was praying, he probably had that image. And to me, if the last image my dad ever saw as a brown man, like you could go on my page right now, scroll down, see his picture, bro. He's like a dark indigenous man. If the last image he ever saw on his head was a white man, I think that's the worst fucking crime you could do to somebody,
Of
bro.
course, bro. Of
Put your
course.
fucking
Homie.
picture of the
Hey, homie,
oppressor
and I
in you
feel for you, bro.
as the last image
Hey,
before
hey,
you
homie.
die, you know?
I mean, I feel for you, bro.
Guys,
And I hope
can,
you get help with that, dog.
can
I
I
feel
say
for you, and I hope you
something?
get help with that, homie. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't hating on that, dog. But I know God it wasn't just white. I mean, I know this wasn't just white. You know, if you do your research and you go back far enough and you look at the people of that time, you know, you're gonna find out that he wasn't white, homie. So you know, I hope that you get peace with that, Don, and to where that can leave your heart to where you don't have to feel some type of way towards that. You know what I'm saying? For your pops and for yourself, you know what I'm saying? For your pops RIP, homie, my condolences to you.
No, I
You
appreciate
know,
it.
so I hope you get some kind of closure with that thought about the white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is my experience, homeboy. You know, and that's what makes it good. You know, you get your journey and you whatever comes to you, bro, wherever you're at in life is because your results and what you need to know right now. You know what I'm saying? Where I've gone in my life, you know, and what's helped me is certain situations like that, lack of information. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most valuable commodity in life is information. You know, especially when you're really dealing with some shit out in this motherfucking world. You know, it's crazy, dog. Yeah, I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna never deny that. The Son. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna deny that because that's what saved my life. That's what actually got a lot of hate out of my heart, homie. In the instant where I smelled flowers like you wouldn't believe, it had to be experienced for only you to believe in. You know, that's where faith comes in and this and that. You know, that was my moment. You know, so you know, I don't know whatever it is, bro, that you got going on, bro, but all I could say that was my moment, homie. You know, and no one's ever gonna take that away from me, bro, and I'll never deny it or whatever that's got me here, or even put love in my heart for you, for the homie right here, for the homegirl, for my desantes, for my Indians, for my raza around the world, bro. I love my raza around the world, homie. I want them to come up, bro. I want them to do well. I want them to have businesses, dog. I want that shit from my raza, homie, and for us to portray, you know, other stuff when there was a time of battle. What you're talking about when this land was divided, bro, and is what it is now. You know, it all played out the way it's supposed to be, right, homie? Like, don't you enjoy
Can
right
I
here?
say something? Can I go, please?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I think a lot of this is being taken so personal,
No,
and
it's not
no,
personal.
no, no, no.
No,
Let
it's
me
not
finish,
personal,
please.
but
Let
it
me
is a
go. Let
touchy
me talk.
subject. Religion and
Let me
politics,
talk.
right?
No, hold on. Let me finish my thought. Like, please let me speak. Because this is not about necessarily religion, right? When we
Hmm.
speak about these things, it's not the religion, it's what
Right,
people
it
do
isn't.
with it.
Right.
No, let me talk,
Hmm.
please. When you spoke, I didn't interrupt. I've been listening quietly here, so everyone
Well,
gets
I'm
to
agreeing
share.
with you, my bad.
So,
I'm agreeing with you.
okay, so if Jesus is the thing that speaks to you, go for it. You know, if you're gonna do something beautiful and support your people with that, go for it. If you're a Muslim and that's what speaks to you, go for it.
Hmm.
The problem is not the religion, it's what people do with it.
Right.
And the people that have killed each other and caused more harm in the name
Right.
of God.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me as an indigenous woman that is fully practicing our ways, and I
Right.
don't mean just like in danza, you know, like I partake in other type of ceremonies. So if that's what speaks to me and that's what spoke to my people, I'm gonna continue that, you know. And if you found faith and hope in Jesus, that's beautiful by all means. Like that is amazing. I love to hear stories like this. But again, if people are using religion, spirituality to hurt other people, then that's all fucked up. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian,
I
Catholic,
agree.
indigenous, and like that's no justification for any of
I
that.
agree.
And the
Mhm.
thing is that you said something that really caught my attention, and that God said, "Come as you are," right? And
Right.
um, that we have that we are forgiven. At one point,
Hmm.
we have to, but that comes because you repent. In order for you to find forgiveness, you have to regret the things that you've done. Kind of, I
Oh yeah,
understand that
yeah. I
so
forgive it.
what I want to say is that in our cosmovision, in our way of seeing life, we are made out of duality. The good and the bad resides within ourselves.
Hmm.
One, I think it's about understanding that there's duality and there's got to be balance in everything and everyone, absolutely every single person. So, once again, what people do with this, it's up to each one of us. We have to be responsible for the things that we do and not just, like people go to church and pray and light up a candle hoping that all the problems are going to be solved. No
Yeah,
different
and
than,
it's a personal relationship. Yeah, I
eh,
agree. It's a
eh,
personal relationship. Everybody's different in their own their own, you know what I'm saying? In their own level of wherever they're at. It's a personal
exactly.
relationship of their peace, of their soul, of their environment. And you are right. We give off energy. We give off vibrations. If you're really to study the vibrations we give off and the energies we give off, that stuff is real.
It is.
And yeah, and you're right.
But
The vibrations and what you're giving off, what you are seeking is also seeking you, and you will find it, and it will be attracted to you and come to you. So what you're seeking and different type of energies and vibrations that you draw to yourself and you're searching for, you're gonna find it. And I agree
absolutely.
with you. Yeah, I agree with you. And everybody, is to each his own. And I agree with you. And I respect that you're doing. And I would love to learn more about my indigenous people, which I am, and I'm studying, and I'm going to trust me. I'm out there.
I'm
I'm learning
always
about
here. I'm
it.
always here. Whenever,
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love
if you
it.
have questions, if you want to
Right.
reach out, because
Yeah,
I'm
I love Cortura. I love, where we came from. I love, all that stuff.
okay.
I'm about that,
Okay, so
and and
just
Where
to
we
finish my
go?
thought, because
Yeah, go ahead.
I do want to finish this thought. Like what I was saying, people are always seeking answers outside themselves. And even within religion, people go to the church and they light up a candle, they pray, and they think that, the miracles are gonna happen, right?
right,
Something
right.
outside of ourselves is gonna
Mm-hmm.
fix the problems. And to be fair, I also
Hmm.
see this within the indigenous community, that people light up sage and they think they're gonna sage their problems away.
Right.
Those things are not the solutions. They're tools.
Mm-hmm.
They connect,
Hmm.
they help us have a deeper connection with whatever faith or
Right, and the
higher
clarity. Right.
power that you have.
Hmm.
But they're not the
Hmm.
solution. At the end of the day, that redemption, that forgiveness, liberation, all of those things are only gonna come from within ourselves.
Right. Because if we have our will in the results of our life is because our results, and you have to be there, and you have to understand that self. You have to understand that, and you have to have that type of growth as a person to know where you're at in life, and even explore and even find out different things about yourself that you don't know. And
Right. But that's only for each person to do, right? So
yeah,
again, I
yeah,
think
or yeah.
in general, whether it is spirituality, religion, politics, when we let these things dictate who we are as
Mm-hmm.
people instead of actually owning that, because I believe that we put our power, we give it away
Mm-hmm.
so freely, so willingly by thinking that something is going to fix your life and your
Oh
problems.
man,
And that's not even the government, not the doctors, not
you hit
God,
it right on the
not
head, homegirl. I
nothing.
love
You
it.
have to take responsibility for your actions
Fuck
and what you do with
yeah.
them.
Fuck yeah. Yup. Hey, look, even look the way I'm talking and shit like that. Hey, you know, dude, I love it, but that's where I'm leaning towards. I heard you say that, about Christianity and what you're experiencing right now. Hey, I love it. I hope you find your peace, and maybe you might learn some things, and I may learn some things, but I love it. You're absolutely right. That's what makes this country great. Of choosing your own things, of learning, of information that's available to you, and working whatever type of emotion that you have, because the body is made of mind, will, and emotion. So if you could get those under control, and to where you're not ran by emotion, and to where you're at in your own position in life and in your own personal development, you got to tune into that, to where what works for you works for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the direction. If that's a stepping stone into the right direction to where you're going in life, that's success. That's more power to you. That's what success is. Taking the right direction and the same stepping stone where you're going.
Real quick, this question, bro. Within Christianity, why don't different denominations see eye to eye if they all, pray to the same Jesus?
Well, it's tough, man. It's tough to live a life of righteousness. The definition of righteousness is living a life that is pleasing unto God. And the life that is pleasing unto God, you get the Ten Commandments, and to where we have law where we're supposed to be as a people. Homie, I could drink chelas, and I like to do what I gotta do, but I'm a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? And that's a tough thing to realize, bro, on your personal relationship and your life, and where you have to find your body as a temple. You know what I'm saying? And I got tattoos on me. I go down to get a couple more tattoos, but like I said, I'm a work in progress, bro. But it's where you're at, in life, bro, and with that, everybody's a work in progress, and you could always get better. That's the thing, and wherever you're at, that's your own relationship with God, bro. And just that, I don't know, bro. Just that's what I can say about that, bro.
Because the reason why I asked that is because even within Christianity, it's like, shouldn't they all get along? It's like basically going back to square one, which is like going back to the calles, right? Where it's like all divided into blocks and this and that. Well, Christianity, it reminds me of that.
Yeah, there's always going to be politics. Yeah, there's always going to be politics, homie, and everything. There's always going to be politics. There are always going to be people in the wrong spot, because we're operating in the flesh. So there are always going to be people in the wrong spot. There's always going to be people that are going to be led by the Spirit. There are always going to be people that are going to shine in the place of darkness in this world, which they should. And that's going to be the obvious. That's what's going to separate everybody. Whatever you believe in and you're doing it right, bro. That, homie, that if somebody's running towards the opposite direction and you're going towards, what you're supposed to be doing, bro, it will be exposed. Like homie said, hey, there's a bunch of extortion going on in Christianity. It will be exposed. It will later, before you know it, it will be brought to light, bro, on what it is and for what and why it's there. And people will catch on. People are wise. People are street smarts. People are wise now, bro. People are catching on to shit. And that stuff is gonna be exposed. And the more you dig, the more information you get, because a whole civilization of God's people perished because they were benejos, bro. They were fucking lack of vision, and that's sad to say, and from my people, from civilizations, from the Mayans, bro, all that stuff came to a time to where we're at right now. So I'm speaking on where we're at right now, and if we were to get into the depth of the colonizers coming over here and the massacres, even of the cowboys and Indians of America taking over, and then at the 1800s, the way they did to kind of, because they found gold, and there's a lot of information, bro, to where different things got twisted, to where the guns had to come out, so that is a different depth that religion had no, or whatever beliefs or whatever gods had no part of, just on that an establishment, what I'm saying. So there's a lot of things that get mixed up and changed around about that type of religion, bro. I'm not perfect. I'm in a work in progress, but I know what that did for my life and the direction and the vision and the mentality I got for myself. You know, that I'm more than a conqueror, bro, that I'm above and not beneath, that I could even lend you and not borrow because I got my vast overflowing and running over to make room for more. You know, that is scripture, bro. If you stand on the word, that's the only living word in the Bible in the world today that's alive. And that's called the living word. You know, that's for my information. I don't want to get too in the depth of my beliefs and to where somebody takes it personal, but politics and religion, bro, so somebody will have a strong opinion about that at any given time, you know, and all we could do is respect each other on where we are as raza, as a people, as a community, as a country. As soon as we get that shit straight and respect each other and honor each other and respect each other homie, there will be so much more and so trying to convert, you know, and look at I felt the pain in the homeless heart. I hope the homie finds peace with that. You know what I'm saying? I hope that he finds out that his pops, he gets, you know, is in a better place. You know what I'm saying? That he has his wings right now. That he has a mansion. That he's riding. His pops is riding on the streets of gold, not concrete, streets of gold.
Matt couldn't hear. Just to correct you, it's not hate. It's the drive that built in me just to say it's not going to happen again. I'm not going to let my kids not know their true culture, their true language, their true beliefs, their true shit. I'm saying that the shit that they did and steal that shit from us, that put the battery in my bag to not let that shit keep happening and put a stop to it and not, you know what I mean? Like, I respect everything you said. And like I said, bro, if it brings you that peace and shit, then power to you. But I'm going to make sure that those lies don't get fed into my children the way they were fed into my dad and my grandparents and shit like that forcefully. You know what I mean? If they come in a time and they find it on their own and they say, hey, we actually like this shit more than what you taught us, hey, power to you. Then you go do that. You know what I mean? But to me, it's like I said, bro, it's not really hate, bro. It's just a realization to me. I realize how many of our people, you know what I mean, probably, like, it's just fucked up to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fucked up to me. Imagine, like, the people that murdered your grandparents and, like, it's the image you pray to. You know what I mean? Like, when
caught the bad end, that caught the bad end of that. Yeah. I hear you.
But but it's not even hate. Like I said, as a grown man, bro, like I said, I could appreciate, like, the Bible. I could appreciate
No, it's not hate.
the
Told me, you know,
stories
I
and the,
don't
you
know
know,
if
the
I said that,
messages and the
but
stories
I
and
never
shit like
wanted
that,
to
you
suggest
know?
that you have hate in your heart. Yeah, but I never said that you want to have hate in your heart. But I hope you, for whatever type of feeling or whatever type of way you feel towards that you find peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily saying that it's hate in your heart. You know what I'm saying? But to where, you know, you feel feed, man, bro, at the end of the day, and, you know, to where it's off your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? To where you give that up, to where you have peace and life with that. You know, and not necessarily hate in your heart, but to where you have peace with yourself. You know what I'm saying, dog? To where you know, you can give that up to where that's you don't want to think about that all the time because you're going to be enslaved to that and that type of bondage and that type of you know, over you. You know, you want to be free from that, bro. You don't want to be limited to that type of, you know, always coming back to that, because that will always fuck with you, bro, if you don't release it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And give that peace.
to me, like I said, like, to me, it's just a realization to, you know, do better and live better. But like I said, it's not really anything that weighs heavy on me or nothing. It's just like, I just realized, like, oh shit, because like I said, it's not, that was his life. You know what I mean? Like, his whole life he was Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you said, it probably helped him through shit that I don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, he did some time in jail, so like, I understand it. You know what I mean? And if that's his piece. But to me, looking at it from the outside perspective, like I said, like I already explained, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, but I appreciate those words, you know what I'm saying? For real, yeah. And like, same to you, you know what I mean, bro? Like,
Hey,
if
my
that's what
G,
you
you know
find
what, dog?
power in,
I
bro,
don't really
you know,
know you
power
like
to
that,
you.
bro, but I love you,
Yeah.
dog. I
Love
love
to
you,
you,
bro.
bro. And that's
And I
how we
gotta
gotta
say,
do it.
you know, that's like a common thing of this universe, of this world, or whatever you want to call it, bro, and how you want to put it, bro. I got love for you, bro, and I want you to do well, and I hope you find peace, and I hope your family excels, and your children's children, your children's children, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, same to you, brother. Love to you
All right,
also,
homie.
bro. Hell yeah, bro.
Simone, so no matter what sides of the spectrum we come from, even for the homegirl and her family, you know what I'm saying? I love her. She's smart, bro.
Yvette, hell yeah, Yvette. You know I'm already a fan of Yvette for
Thank you.
sure.
Be smart people, bro. our gente is very, very intelligent, bro. We just, we need to tap into that, in us, bro. And like, there's a lot of information that's in our DNA, bro. And the thing is that a lot of us wasted on dumb shit, bro. A lot of us wasted on dumb shit that we should be talking about things that actually matter. Not about the fucking 49ers or the Cowboys or the fucking Dodgers. None of that shit matters,
Eso,
bro. None of
eso.
that shit matters, bro. Porque cuando nos muéramos, it's gonna be for what? To root for the
Yes,
fucking
Simón.
to root for to fucking que las chelas que all this is just like it's momentarily, pero lo que sí cuenta is what are we gonna leave behind, what
Mhm.
information are they gonna dig up from the ground and be like, oh, este güey, he's this is what I want to teach my children's children and shit.
Yeah.
Pero this thing's gonna kick me out in like 20 seconds, and I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. To keep this alive, this plática, like we all live in different parts of California, in different states or whatnot. Pero you know what?